This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's Open Comms. It's Friday night, and we are back. I'm Drayden. We have Dirk here, and we have Rain here. We have Blastum, and we got Brisk, the crew.
So, picking up from where we left off last time.
Yeah, so...
When we all walked off the show. Matter, I'll shut the stream down.
It was so funny.
You can't do that.
Daniel Westelius hit me up today. He goes, you tell Drayden if he ever cuts the stream at a point like that again, I'm gonna come get him.
Daniel was watching. What the fuck? Well, I guess like a lot of people were watching. Yeah.
Daniel was watching.
Damn.
But yeah. Anyways, whatever. You know what? We went for like 4 freaking hours last week.
3.5, I think.
But you know, whatever. You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. Last week, other than maybe like the tail end of it or whatever for reasons and shit like that, last week was a pretty damn good week. We had a lot of people on. I mean, to the point where on Saturday, I like sent out kind of a thank you because I sat there and thought about it. And it's like, man, you know, I really like when we have shows where, and people notice that tonight we really don't, you know, like have some like, you know, super special guests. We got Brisk and whatnot. But, you know, it's like, I really enjoy those shows because with what we do, I really look to people like Graf and Pro God Legend and Villy and these people that are out there like doing it, right? Like getting it done. Those are the people that I look to in Eve and go, you know, man, I'm so glad that I get to like, you know, like, I don't know, have these guys on a show and talk about what it is they think about these various things. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm like a fan. Like I literally like fucking tweeted that out last week, but whatever.
Yeah.
Getting all stupid now, but
fanboy Dirk.
I do. I mean, yeah, because I mean, I've always looked at, you know, what FCs and alliance leaders and all these people do in the game, you know, as being so critical to the rest of us just being able to be, you know, players, right? Even if at some point, you know, we've taken it upon ourselves to do more, right? Or we've retired from doing that and we sit back or whatever. Or, you know, I call it the 99%, right? And I'm not even sure it's like, you know, the 1% of the game that really carries the other people, like in terms of helping to provide them content and whatnot. But it probably is something along those lines, the 1%.
Well,
I
yeah,
think it's cool, and I like the fact that we had something happening last week, so we're not just staring at us and the screen.
Yeah,
well, there was to be honest, like what? Yeah, I mean, like as far as like stuff happening on the overarching thing, there was, but like what was happening on screen was just, you know,
Drayden dying.
I did die.
I think that was a highlight.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is I know I thought back on it and I know how and the funny thing is it happened like the fact that I ended up landing on the keep star and dying right as basically like a couple minutes after the timer finished was pretty lucky because when people were like, "Oh, look at the keep star to see the timer," and I double clicked on it. Which at that point, my ship started slow burning at the keep star, but I was like 980 kilometers away, so like it took a long time
to get there?
It took an hour to get there, and then and then like right as the timer finished, I got on the keep star and got blown up.
Should just tell everyone it was intended that you deliberately warped there, and they just didn't see the effects.
Yeah, and I was watching the video. I didn't even realize my ship was getting blown up. I didn't realize anything was happening until the big white screen flash came up and I got potted. And I was like, wait, what? But
yeah, so you know, you just kind of finish up what I was saying. It's like I really enjoy what it is we do because I get to like, you know, meet all these, you know, different people and whatnot and kind of, you know, hear from them. You know, but like even when I'm in fleet, it's like I always make it a point to like thank the FC at the end because it's like, you know, not just the FC, right? Because I know that there's like a team behind all of them and whatnot. But it's, you know, I mean, these people are doing stuff. They're taking time, and granted, they're the types of personalities that will get out there and do that sort of thing. You know, but they're really taking some extra effort to, you know, to do things for us. And you know, now granted, they're using us. I mean, you know, we are their ammunition. and shit like that. But whether it's an FC or whether it's a corporation leader of an indie corp or whatever, right? I mean, these people facilitate a lot of things, and every once in a while you got to thank them and like kind of I don't know, feel good about it and shit. But anyways, yeah. All that being said, see, I'm covering up my notes here, so I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
I think you wanted to talk about something happening in DC this weekend.
You know what? We are going to actually mention right now. Somebody hit me up with something the other day, and Blasphem's actually got some more. So go through the meetups. Go through the DC one first, because that's literally like tomorrow.
Well, actually, there's 4 of them tomorrow. Yeah, so between the DC meetup, there is the Toronto monthly meetup. There's one in Manchester, and there's one in Houston. So I'll go ahead and throw all these links in chat.
Manchester, as in like England. Like
Manchester,
England.
Those
Yes.
people aren't listening except McLeod out there, and he's not going all the way to freaking Manchester. He probably doesn't go to Manchester. On a
Ebrox
good
is
day,
out there, although he's probably not going to Manchester either.
Nah, he's probably not coming down to Manchester. Although who knows? Maybe they're going to
Manchester.
hang out in Nottingham or something.
So yeah, that's
That's-
Manchester.
That would be the thing.
That'll be later.
Oh, speaking of Scotland, I don't know if
See,
anyone.
McLeod says he's been to a Manchester meet.
Oh.
Yeah. The Manchester
fun?
one is a fully equipped karaoke room sponsored by Almost Broken. So,
What?
yes,
Yes.
karaoke at Manchester.
There you go, Ray.
I'm
Catch a
going.
flight.
I'm going.
Do it. Flying
AFK,
tonight.
Gotta fly.
Red Eye. Here you go.
Still got time.
The Houston monthly meetup that's at the usual spot. Toronto, same thing. It's the usual spot. And then DC's, I think that is their usual monthly meetup as well. So there's the 4 this weekend. They're all tomorrow, all various times. Go check out Eve Meet. I'll link them all here just in a second. So that's Manchester. I just linked. But
Kill's out there going fully equipped. No way. It's like no. You got to bring your own karaoke equipment.
That's
to
right.
Other ones.
Bring
This
your own
one's
mic.
fully equipped. This one has
Totally.
microphones and a karaoke
Last
machine.
DC
and
meet, I went
music.
to the last DC meetup, and we had a lot of fun. We had like 20 guys there and girls. It was pretty good. We had a good time. We chatted. I won $1 billion S that I gave to another player because I don't need it. So I'm space famous CSM. I don't need money. We had a lot of fun. It was a good time. So if you're in the DC area, I strongly encourage you to come out. I don't know if I can make it or not tomorrow. I haven't gotten my wife hall pass yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. A couple weeks ago, I had to go up to Connecticut, and I ended up meeting with Dark Wild and a couple of goons and whatnot down in the city. But I had tweeted out about the fact that I had to go to Connecticut. All of a sudden, I start getting like these, like tweet replies, and it happened over the course of a couple days or whatever about people who lived in Connecticut or whatever. Look, I live in Eastern Pennsylvania. Okay, I have a house up in Connecticut as well, but. Well, I have a house in Connecticut where my mom is living at the moment, but whatever. Anyway, so sometimes I've got to go up there and deal with that kind of thing. If you live in either one of these areas and want to find a way of getting together, let's I don't know, hit me up on Twitter or something like that. I'm not saying I'm going to call a full-fledged freaking Eve meet. I mean, if we get some critical mass someplace or whatever, maybe it turns into that. But you know what? If you happen to live in the Eastern Pennsylvania area,
How far are you from DC, Dirk? You're like 3 hours away. You should come down.
I'm probably like 3 hours, yeah. But whatever. I mean,
Come on down.
it's always been one of those things where I'm sitting there going, man, it's like, and this is not about DC. It's more about the whole kind of like reluctance to try and call an Eve meet kind of a thing. It's always like, man, I'm kind of at that age where it's like, man, if it's not in my own backyard or some shit, it's like, or if it's not like at a local bar or something like that, do I want to travel? Because it's like, I want to go there. I want to party and whatnot. And
Did we hear
I
how
don't wanna
Eve
get back.
did Eve Northwest happen? Was that
No,
good?
Eve
Does that
Northeast
Northeast
is coming
is
up.
soon.
Eve Northeast
Last
is coming up
weekend.
this week.
Okay.
Next weekend.
This coming week, yeah. That begins, I believe that begins this coming Thursday. And then runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
I wanted to go to that, but unfortunately, I will be in New Jersey at a Minecraft convention for my kid.
What? Oh, okay.
The mining intern.
I
When
was
you
like,
to go
Bring
to
him
New
to an
Jersey
Eve
at a Minecraft
convention.
convention?
Well, he wants to get his favorite
When is it?
YouTuber is I think it's next not this weekend, but next weekend, like August 4th or something. I remember.
Yeah. But
But
where is it?
Ethan Gamer TV is his favorite YouTuber. He's like a 10-year-old in England that does YouTube videos. And my kid had on his bucket list.
Oh
My
my
8-year-old has a
god.
bucket list that he wanted to meet Ethan Gamer, so we're taking him to go see him.
It should
So.
be a pretty big bucket at this
Yeah,
point. but-
confirming the dates on Eve Northeast. That's August 2nd to the 5th. That's Galway, New York.
There you go.
I can link.
And I'm really sad that I got to miss Eve Northeast this year, because that is something that I've really enjoyed going to the past, I guess it's 2 years. Past 2 years. That was really fun. But they moved it. And the reason I'm asking, where are you going to be in Jersey, is because I'm going to be in Jersey that weekend. I'm heading down the shore next Friday, so I'll be in the Atlantic City area on Friday, and then I'll be at the Shore House on Saturday. So where is that?
I'm looking to see where it is.
Like, if you tell me it's like at the Atlantic City Convention Center or something, then you and I are gonna,
That would be good.
Wait, Eve Northeast? I thought they said it was like upstate New York.
It's up around Albany this year. They moved it. It was okay. So Eve Northeast was originally started up in New Hampshire, and then they moved it down to northeastern Pennsylvania, kind of like out in literal MAGA freaking boondocks part of northeastern Pennsylvania, and that was cool there. But this year, because of just some changes in kind of what was going on with the location they were having it at in Pennsylvania, they moved it up around Albany, New York, which Albany, New York, up around Albany is probably more convenient for those people that were still coming from places like New Hampshire and Boston and and whatnot. So,
all right, it's in Edison, New Jersey.
Oh, Edison. Okay, so that's like
I'm not going to be near you.
Yeah, so that's like up north.
Arian Rod, thanks for the 20 months, man.
Yeah, I don't go to northern Jersey Shore. I mean, as much as I like watching the Jersey Shore, I still don't go to those shitty beaches.
You're an LBI only guy, right?
No, I'm down south of LBI. I'm literally almost down in like as far south as you can go. I'm down around Avalon.
Aren't there starting to be a bunch of great whites up on the northeast coast now?
Like Asbury Park, that far?
Like,
no,
well, I don't know.
like
I know
south.
up around Massachusetts, like Cape Cod and stuff. There's a bunch of them now.
Yeah, you get some supposedly out there, but whatever.
Hell no, I wouldn't do it.
Just gotta be faster than the person next to you.
No, they come from the bottom.
Like
there is no
bear.
going faster.
It's like a water bear.
Yeah, fuck sharks.
Anyways, you know what? We've hit a critical mass here to the point where it's like I do want to make an announcement. Kind of, you can call it what you want, whatever. It's one of those things where I look. It should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, just so everybody's on the same page going forward. Last week we kind of had some personal attacks from the chat that got out of hand. Open comms is no safe space, but Twitch does have rules, and INN has to abide by those rules. Open comms has to abide by those rules, and yes, even Twitch viewers have to abide by those rules. We know that last week wasn't really kind of a normal audience for us. Obviously, if you look tonight, it's 150, 160 people. Last week, it was upwards of anywhere from between 1,000 and, I don't know, 1,600 or something like that, because there was stuff going on. You guys that are our normal audience pretty much hold your shit together, and that's, really good. However, we're asking that you do refrain from making comments that might be deemed to be harassment or hateful by Twitch standards. And I can go through the whole thing about what hateful conduct is and all that, but look, you know what it is. Basically, don't make personal attacks based on various characteristics of the person, right? It's like, if you want to shit on things or whatever because of the content, then feel free to do so, but just try and keep the other thing. Once again, open comms is not a safe space. Like, pretty much the show actually is not a safe space. We totally expect to catch shit from you guys based on what we say, but let's just try to keep it all within the context of the content. Just because I'm old and fat doesn't mean that when I say something you disagree with means that you can shame me for being old and fat, because my age and physical characteristics are protected. But you can call me stupid because that appears to be fair game. Anyway, going forward, we're going to be moderating the channel as best we can. I'm not guaranteeing warnings. Okay, I'd rather spend my time engaging in the conversation and saying stupid shit, but we'll do what we can to stay within Twitch's terms of service. Anyway, that's it. We want an active chat channel and viewer engagement. Let's just try to avoid the personal attacks that may be too close to the line for Twitch, because I just don't need management crawling up my ass every week.
Matterall just called you a popsicle.
Yeah, but that's
being mean.
Drayden, you have a Jintan's name on the screen, but we don't have Jintan.
Yeah, Blastum just told me. I got it fixed now.
Okay.
No, Cheetah, feel free to ad hom me all freaking day. You know what I mean? It's like, but we
don't at me, man. Don't at me.
Because obviously part of the shtick that we go through here, right, is banter, okay? Like especially amongst the hosts on the show and you know and all that kind of stuff. You know, when we start trying to shut people down and using ad hominems for that, or using kind of, you know, offensive sort of, you know, terminology, you know, in that, yeah, then that's where we begin to cross the line. I mean, I've had my own ass in trouble too many times, and you know all that. So. But you know, but apparently, and just so people know, the reason why the VOD got pulled last week, okay, was not because of what the show was. It was because the chat goes with the show,
Right?
And the
we
chat
have that on the screen.
The chat got hostile to the point where since you can't clip the chat out, then you know they just clip the whole clip the whole VOD. You know, so whatever. The podcast is out there if you want to hear last week because it was a good fucking show.
It's pretty solid.
But whatever. Anyways, we got some other stuff to talk about. Hey, did you guys hear that Guardians of the Galaxy is no more?
You don't say.
You mean the movie?
No, Guardians of the Galaxy Coalition is
Didn't
no
they
more.
die in?
What happened?
They are now known
Infinity
as
War?
the Dead Coalition.
What happened
We've been
was
calling them the Dead Coalition for 6 months. Where you been?
Is that their official name change, or is that a Dirk name change?
No, that is like I heard about that. I guess I heard about it this morning. Like as I was waking up, I read something that somebody else had written in Talking in Stations Discord, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, so I like hit up Sort, and Sort's like, yep. He's like, basically they've been calling us dead for a long time, so we're just changing the name of the coalition to the Dead Coalition.
Embracing
Like,
the
all right.
meme. I like it.
Port,
Yeah, exactly.
Port was like, "Do their line members know yet?"
Apparently they do, because I was talking to one of them who used to be in my corp, Jody, a long time ago, and he's like, yeah, some of them don't like
Where
it
is
because
Jody
like,
with Darkness?
we're kind of feeding into it, but yeah, we're kind of like yeah, like you said, embrace the suck. I don't know. I mean, it's
Trust the process.
it's kind of like well, we're gonna own the word. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, that's not what you do.
You
It's
can't
like,
call us dead if we call ourselves dead.
yeah,
Joke's
we're
on
not
you.
dead if we call ourselves dead.
What's dead may never die.
They can't do that to our pledges. Only we can do that to our pledges.
So now apparently the meme has to change to evolve, because they've owned that. I don't know.
We're gonna call it.
It's
the
kind of one of those things
Deader
where it's like it's a coalition name. Yeah, coalition names,
They're not real.
it's like they're actually in game. Yeah.
Also, I like how people still want to call the Imperium the CFC just because they think it bothers us.
It's old habits too. You get so used to calling them.
There
CFC,
is some
it
of
doesn't
that
matter
that's
if there's
old.
a name
That's
change.
old habit. Yeah, I would agree that there is some of that that's old habit, and then there's other ones that just want to be like, I will not use the name that you've told me to use. I will use the name I want to use. It's like, whatever, bro. But yeah, so look, another little thing that we had this week. Actually, in the last couple of days, a couple weeks, it was probably about 3 weeks ago now, maybe. I don't know. It was right after the CSM election and whatnot, and I brought up the whole kind of high-sec thing and whatnot. Well, the high-sec thing about, the annual, what I call the annual high-sec gripe over Wardex and ganking and how to make high-sec better again and all that kind of stuff. We brought that up about 3 weeks ago. Well, it had its origins in a blog that was written by a person out there. And then a couple other people jumped on kind of the blog bandwagon and sort of gave their thoughts on it and whatnot. And there was a whole bunch of shit going on Twitter and whatnot. But the guy that originally started, I'm like, he was really kind of fucking worked up about this stuff and whatnot, and carried it on. And he ended up having a lot of Twitter back and forth and, and other stuff that was going on out there. Well, I guess apparently he got banned yesterday because in the process of his big fight with some people out there, he he doxed another player, and CCP came down and I fucking booshed him.
Yeah, basically.
So he had doxed him out of game, but he also admitted on his Twitter account and his blog related to his in-game character, and even called Falcon out and said, "What are you gonna do? Ban me? I said it out of game."
The hammer drop.
Well, this
And
guy,
then he was banned.
if you go back, this whole thing is even funnier because he put out a couple of YouTube videos where he just went off complaining about everything, complaining about high sec, and that's what Dirk was talking about. But then he came back about a week ago and apologized to everybody and said, sorry guys, I was trolling you. It was really, I was doing it for a psychology paper I wrote for a college class. Okay. So everybody's like, you did what? And people took him seriously because he's been streaming for 15 years or so, and everybody, he's been an Eve beta level player. I mean, he's been around since 2003. So people took him seriously, and he just started melting down. And it was literally watching somebody like lose it in real time, to the point of folks were doing response videos to him and quoting the material that he put out, and he ended up going after one of the other YouTube guys, one of the pretty famous streamers, and doing a DMCA strike on his YouTube account, saying that he used copyrighted material of mine inappropriately, which is obviously nonsense, because free use doctrine. If you're critiquing or criticizing somebody's content, you can clip it, and there's usually no issue. And I actually got into it with this guy on Twitter, saying, look, from a legal perspective, what you did was not appropriate use of the copyright rules. And he started going to this, oh, I'm in the UK, you can't do this, you can't do that, it's all fair and everything. And he just went crazy. Well, so it was just one of these things where he was cruising for it. He wasn't listening to anybody. He was going nuts about everything. At the end of the day, I think maybe a timeout or a break for this guy was probably necessary, because he was off the deep end.
Well, okay, so I just want to go into the doxing thing, because somebody out there asked the question of what is doxing, and it is basically publicly releasing the personal information of another person out there, right?
Without their consent or permission.
Without their consent or permission, where it is not normally already public information. I mean, you could dox somebody, you could dox, somebody where their stuff is not normally public information. However, you may know what my real name is, and if you say my real name someplace, that's not doxing. But if you go out there and kind of look it up,
but if they would go to a forum and take all your name, your address, your phone number, just and your picture and everything, you go blam, just put it on a forum.
Right, exactly. And one of the things that happened here, the way in which this person came about getting that information, actually is the thing that's kind of scary to me. Okay, is that in making this DMCA petition or whatever to YouTube, okay, the other streamer, the other YouTube person responded back to that, okay. Now Brisk, it looked to me like boilerplate, kind of language.
If you want me to, basically the way that it works with YouTube, if you're the copyright holder, what you file is a DMCA complaint, basically a takedown notice, where you say this other person has used my copyrighted material without my permission. Please take this down. And I signed this under penalty of perjury, and following DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is what we're talking about, under those rules. Now, the response to that is, if the infringing, and basically what happens, what YouTube does is 3 strikes and basically you're banned, or at least you're temporarily suspended. So 3 people strike you and say, this guy used my copyrighted material, they're going to shut your channel down. So he did that to this other YouTube provider, the streamer. We're not using names because we don't want to get into it. But the response to that YouTube provides is a counter takedown, which is basically their response saying, hey, I used it fairly, I didn't do anything wrong. But in doing that, you have to provide all of your real life, information, because the next step after that is you got to go to court. I mean, that's really the only way to do it. So YouTube needs the information, and they provide it to the other party, saying this is the person that responded to your claim, and basically YouTube gave this other streamer's information to the crazy guy in the first place, and then he used that as a blog post and basically doxed him. So it was kind of crazy how that all played out.
Filing a DCMA, regardless of how it's done, you have to provide that real life information, and you cannot file it for somebody else unless they give you legal right to do it. So if I see videos that aren't mine on someone else's YouTube for whatever reason, I cannot file that DCMA.
Right.
But yeah,
I think the way Chainsaw Plankton's asking a legitimate question, maybe Brisk, you can answer this, is what does YouTube do to verify it's a copyright violation and not a case of fair use? Or saying, how does it know that somebody filing a strike is actually legitimate and not like me, you know, like someone like me, like going out and just trolling people's YouTubes.
This is the thing, they can't, and they don't. Essentially, they take your word for it because they basically require you to sign a statement or digitally sign a statement saying that you believe everything what you're saying to be accurate and following the laws, and you're signing under penalty of perjury. Although that's just nonsense, because you find me a prosecutor who's going to go after somebody in a perjury charge because they filed a false DMCA complaint. I don't think it happens very much. But
go ahead, sorry.
But anyway, so essentially, YouTube is basically, they have this mini little forum to go back and forth on this stuff, but they don't want to be involved in that. They don't want to be arbitrating copyright disputes, and they don't want to get sucked into a copyright complaint. So it's easier for them to just take the content out and let folks worry about it on their own, and then they go to court. And if it is a big enough deal where these are folks that are monetizing and they're making a lot of money off these videos, then yeah, you're going to go to court and you're going to fight it because you don't want somebody using your material. But for low-level stuff like this, and I don't think either of these guys was monetizing their videos, it would really be completely pointless. And you know, as a lawyer, I would never advise a client, unless there's real money on the line, don't go into litigation.
Right. It's
just it's too much money for very little.
I mean, I have a problem with the fact that YouTube, as part of their initial response back when the petitioned party, okay, basically said, look, my shit is not copyrighted or anything like that. You know, the boilerplate that was there, I don't have it anymore. But at the bottom of that listed who the individual's information was. If the party that petitioned were going to carry on and go forward, right, then maybe YouTube would have to give up that information. But I do not like the fact that they are giving that, you know, up so early in the thing. That, you know, that being said, even though YouTube gave that up, it's still on the individual who then posted it. And in fact,
you can't just repost it.
And in fact, after they doxed this person out in public one time, okay, then got banned as part of their it was more like badge of fucking honor blog post about having gotten banned, because they put in there their communications with Falcon, their communications with GM Lelouch, and then at the bottom reprinted the entire thing from YouTube, including the person's information, which later in that day was then removed on the blog by WordPress or whoever it was. Okay. And that blog is now, the entire blog is now gone from WordPress. So I don't know if that was because the person took it down or because WordPress took the entire thing down.
I think Noisy said WordPress actually took it down because it violated WordPress's terms of service.
Well, the initial part of it did, which is why it got extracted out of there, because then he went back into his blog and said this has been updated, you know, as of, you know, this, you know, because WordPress took out whatever. I don't know what took down the original, the whole blog, but the point was that he did it again. He sat there and basically said "fuck you" and did it again. Well, and
the thing is, like, the thing with the guy is that on that blog, it doesn't sound. Not only was he not remorseful, he kind of. I almost think the blog, it wasn't like a bait blog, but it kind of felt like a "come at me, bro," just blanket rage out to the public. Because
and almost vindictive. It was very vindictive tone.
It was.
It wasn't the thing with.
It was very, you banned me. I have 8 shots left, in you know on my broadside.
Yeah,
let me fire them off.
And the funny thing is, like, he posted, because the funny thing is, like, he posted his discussions with Falcon, and the discussions paint him in a worse light, because it's basically, he was telling Falcon, he's like, doesn't matter if I dox this guy, it's not illegal, and doxing people, I didn't do it in your game, so it doesn't break your terms of service. And Falcon's like, that doesn't matter, because if you read our EULA, it means that we can kick your ass out for actions that we deem undesirable in our community. So you don't have to break the game rules for us to kick you out of the game.
We have gone through a lot of times here. Okay, let's go through something that we've gone through a lot of times here, just so that in case there are any new players out there who are listening to this, okay, we are at what I would call at-will players of this game, meaning that if you're an at-will employee, your employer can fire you for a reason or for no reason at all, okay? CCP can terminate your freaking playing of this game for a reason or for no reason at all. There does not have to be a reason. Yeah. And in this case here, if they determined that there was a reason, that was enough. They can go at you. Okay, and they will. They have done it in the past. This is one of the few circumstances that I've visibly seen, okay, Erotica
Start-
1 was really the initial one, and it led to them actually putting some words out there about how they can and will, if it is tangentially associated with EVE Online, all right, they can and they will. So don't think that if you just do something in some other channel or shit like that, and like it's not in an in-game chat, that if they can't determine, you know, who you are, that they won't go after you. They will.
I think it's time for us to do a shot too.
I agree.
Shot 2.
All right.
Oh no.
Here's a shot.
I should probably get another
CCP
shot
Falcon
glass.
for banning the crazy guy and saving us all.
It still
Well,
has,
thank you, Falcon.
it still has Kahlua in it from
I'm
last
going to do this
week.
to CCP Falcon. I'm going to do this to
Falcon.
CCP Falcon, but I'm also throwing in this extra kicker to GM Lelouch. Okay.
Yes.
Because GM Lelouch's, and this is what the guy put in his blog post. Okay. You know, he actually put the communication from GM Lelouch in there. All right. And basically, GM Lelouch in one of his lines in there said, you have been banned from the game, and no, you can't come back. Like it was like I read that. I read the
That's
line.
awesome.
And I'm paraphrasing there. I read the line. You could literally hear the door shut and the locks click.
Yeah,
So
it was,
this is
thought
to
it was-
Lelouch, because I've never heard that like from any other thing out there where it's like, and you can't come back.
yeah. Falcon did the nice like corporate roundabout PR way of saying get the fuck out of here. Yeah, Lelouch is just like
Shots.
peace, fuck off.
And I know CCP includes that because many times players will get banned for things and come back. So like Stump Flores is banned for impersonation. He was able to come back 6 months later.
Tani
Shit
got
like that.
banned. A bunch of guys get
Yeah.
banned and come back.
Yeah, and CCP's like, nope, you're not coming back.
Yeah, but
This is
the
Well,
it.
doxing-
Matani's ban was a specific, I believe it was 30-day ban. Okay, there are other ones out there where look, bans occur and then they do come back. I mean, like, I don't know that there are many times when CCP, puts down what we would call a permanent lifetime,
Gig X?
execution type thing. I mean,
Nope,
like,
GigX is back.
Oh,
well,
The gig is.
I don't
But
want to get into
like the
whether or not
people-
GigX
so
is
the
or is
people who
not
did the
back or anything like
graffiti-
that, but.
The people who did
Whether-
the
whether or
graffiti
not
on
he's
the
back-
monument.
We're hearing him in comms again, and we're seeing the Gig X on grid leading fleets. So
nice.
People
So
say that.
that-
I have to be honest. I don't know the Serbian accent enough to be able to tell
It's
one from the
him.
other.
But no, so CCP has issued bans like that for players. So like if you think the people who did graffiti on the monument in Iceland, CCP banned them from all real life events. They banned them from all CCP games and all CCP like related items. So it's things like that. Like they make it
I
very
think we have a new
clear when you're
standard
not
here,
around.
I think we have a new standard. If that line in there of "and no, you can't come back" isn't in there, there's a chance. Just
There's a
know
chance.
we
So
have.
you're
So you're
saying-
saying,
saying
so
there's
you're
a
saying,
chance.
Is a chance GigX is coming back?
So you're saying I have a chance? No, you're banned. So you're saying I have a chance?
But can I come back on a new
Yeah.
account?
Oh man. Anyways,
When
and
the
you know
world
what?
can divide by 0, you can come back.
Here is kind of one of the tough things, all right? Where it's almost like, man, because like something like this happens, and I know that it's very easy for us to all sit there and kind of be like, fuck you, good riddance, all that kind of shit, right? Because like he was way over the edge, like he was really heated about all the things that he was fucking talking about and all that kind of stuff, and then he ended up taking this thing too far, right? And even after he caught a ban, he then again took it too far, and yet after the fact, I feel like, number one, he deserved it. Okay, he did, because doxing is really fucking bad. Okay,
He doubled
like
down
it is
on
not. It is not just something that like the EULA should cover. It is not just. It is a compact that we have amongst players that this is a line too far kind of a thing. Now, granted, literally chopping off hands is also a line too far. Okay, like a number of things are also lines too far. But doxing is one of those things where it's like, it creates kind of the image of threat in your mind, right?
It's a major taboo.
What
when
if
it
somebody
comes to the
put
internet.
out your information out there into the public sphere? Not that anybody's sitting in this channel, but maybe like, 10 tangential lines later, you like some psycho sits there and goes, "Oh, I want to fucking visit Dirk." Okay, it's like, yeah, I would be concerned about those sorts of things. Doxing is a compact amongst gamers that you don't fucking do. I don't give a
have
shit if
that
it's. I
problem,
don't give a
though,
shit if it's
which is
fucking
nice.
illegal. I don't give a shit if it's like something that you can go to jail for or get kicked out of a game for or anything like that. Amongst gamers, it is a compact that we have that this is like just something you don't do.
And I think it even goes like further with Eve players. So I know like Matani's real name is out there, like it's used in many articles.
Well, he had to put it because he was on the CSM.
Yeah, well they did, and like
Well, that
people
was the
still
old
refer to him
rules.
as Matani, right? Like very few people, like if we're talking about him, will not refer to him as his first name. And same with like Elise Randolph. His first name's out there. I refuse to call him by his first name because like one, he's Elise to me, but two,
Yeah.
it's also really like I don't want to be the reason for somebody else getting their information out there. And I know amongst us show hosts, like I don't think I've ever called you guys by your real names, like
Yeah.
ever, like
Yeah,
real life.
when I found out
private,
Elise's real name, I was
anything
like,
that.
nah, that doesn't
I-
fit you. You're Elise.
I'm sorry,
man.
It's actually
your
weird on the
real life name is
CSM.
Chocolate, but that,
I mean,
that's on your parents.
Shut
not
up,
us.
Jeffrey. I don't care.
It's just weird on the CSM because we know all the devs' real names now. So I go back and forth between calling Falcon his real name and Guard his real name, and the name
Yeah.
in-game name is weird. It's
And,
just
like,
a weird thing.
Some
And
some
even
of the
some of
devs,
that stuff is like some of the devs are like kind of public about their real life. So like Falcon's very open and shit, whereas like other devs aren't, and you have to like
Yeah,
balance
exactly.
that line of like, oh, I know like about their family. Like, do I say like, hey, how's your family, or is that
That's
too
different.
much?
That's
But
different.
it's a little
Okay.
different. But here's the unique thing. Me being a volunteer and being close at Eve, FanFest in Vegas, I actually call the devs by their real name. I mean, so that's how I communicate with them. Is I sometimes if I don't know their real name, if it's like CCP Orca, and she's got a very
Or if it's
unique Icelandic
if
name,
it's
so I
something
can't
in
pronounce it, so I
Icelandic.
don't want to screw it up.
right?
But like CCP Falcon, I know his real
Did
name, of course.
did Chat die?
I was
I
kind of
think
seeing
so,
that
yeah.
too.
Not-
X up in chat if you can hear us.
Hello.
X up in
No,
chat.
but yeah, it's some of the
Oh, is
CCP
this
devs though. It's like
breaking?
the Icelandic language has letters that don't exist in
Oh, they can hear us.
our alphabet, and so
Okay.
I look at it, I'm
Everybody's
like,
really
I
Yeah,
don't.
what
quiet.
Cork has got is out there.
It's like the
Hey,
weird
Corky.
like block R in Russian. It's like I don't know what sound that
Corky
makes.
Escott. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, hold on. And this is one of the mistakes that they made long ago with the whole CSM thing, okay? Where they required, okay, not only did they require, because obviously they still require your real name and your passport and shit like that for their own records, right? But they published this shit. And for years, like, the people that went for CSM and were candidates, and, it was like their real names were freaking out there. And it was like, that was bullshit, and it was a mistake that CCP made a long fucking time ago, and luckily they changed that going back a couple of years now, I think it is, to where that it's not published out to the fucking player base. But man, looking back on that now, it's like, fucking horrible. What a bad decision. I mean, like,
I've heard
why would
so
you
many.
publish that shit out? Like, you can publish, Brisk is from freaking the United States of America, but like, you don't have to like put his real name out there.
Well, it's not like my real name isn't everywhere anyway. So
But
You're a
still,
little
that's
bit of a
your
different
choice.
beast.
That's
because
your
But that's
choice,
the thing,
though.
exactly.
You
Well,
live
that's
on
the thing.
both sides.
It's not even my choice. It's just the reality. Is that I've been using this name for 20 years, and you Google it, you're going to find my real name. And once you find my real name, politically everything has to be disclosed. I've got financial disclosures. I mean, you can find out everything you want to know about me.
Taxes?
But
Dibs.
I thought you
no,
were talking.
seriously, it's not a joke. You can look up what I make. You can look
No,
up where I
I-
live, how much my
no,
house
I'm gonna
costs.
No,
count.
but
I thought you were
ridiculous.
talking about your
But
real
it's-
name that you've
but
been
it's-
using for 20 years. I was like, that's it? Just 20
Welcome
years?
to federal law.
I mean, even for you though, okay, like there would be no need for anybody out there. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the reasons why when you're going to be on the show, I don't freaking tag you in the tweet is because you use your real information. And whether you choose to or not, that's on you. I'm not going to be the person that actually tags that in because I think what you're doing is wrong. I'm just going to say it. I think what you're doing is wrong, and you're wrong.
Yeah, Brisk.
Hey, look, I like
You're
having
wrong.
my
You should
I have
totally
my
have a
verified
Dirk
Twitter.
McGurk
I
type
like using
Twitter.
that, so it's fine.
I think one of the scary thing is like that people's stuff, even just with the name, people's stuff is out there on the internet, even if you don't think it is. Because Hakwa, do you remember Hakwa in our corp? Like he's like, what's your name? And I told him, and he's like, and you live here? I'm like, yeah. He's like, boop a doop a doop a doop. He's like, oh, so I see this one court session you had. I'm like, okay, yeah, stop looking, because that actually scared like the fact
Drayden,
that-
really?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
I was
ahead,
like,
Shifter.
what the hell?
So apparently there
Yeah.
are issues with people typing in chat, so we are going to investigate I don't know if you guys want to whisper blast them the message you're getting, or if it's simply not showing it. If it's simply not showing it, that might be a Twitch end. If it's saying something like followers only mode or something like that, then that's something we on our end can change.
Nobody can see my comments.
No, I see Ingress.
I can't see yours, Brisk.
I see.
Is there anybody who's typing that is not a subscriber or a follower? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of.
Hold on. You won't actually see that you won't see whether or not they're a follower, though, right? I mean, like.
No, not a follower, but you can see they're a subscriber. But I'm seeing non-subs. I'm seeing subs and non-subs, so it should be fine. I'm seeing all the X's.
Anyways, I've asked Life Shirts with the question.
I can see your comment, Brisk. I wonder if it might be a Twitch mess. It might be a Twitch issue.
It could be.
It's funny because all right, now I see it. There you go.
I think it's coming back.
I don't want us to harden our thing because
No, it's definitely. It would be a Twitch thing.
We can harden our thing, but I don't want us to harden it just because. No, we can harden it just because, but I don't want us to harden it because of last week.
I heard there was.
If you want to
I heard there were some issues of. No, I was gonna say I heard there were some issues with Twitch support, via Twitch support.
I don't know. The chat seems to be working fine for me. I think it was just a lull, or everyone just went into lurk mode. So.
Okay,
I don't think so because we were talking about fun stuff.
We had some very good banter going on.
We've gone through my topic.
I mean, it wasn't like Rain was talking about the Alliance tournament or anything, and people tuned out.
Yeah,
we've gone through my topic of Doxy Bandboy, and we're gonna move on from that because you know what? Look, like him, we also need to just move on. However, after waking up to last weekend's fiasco that happened at the end and whatnot, I then had to go to the girls versus boys tournament.
Yeah,
that was fun, wasn't it?
It was so even. It was such an even fight.
That was so much fun.
I was so happy.
Hold on, Rain.
I was so happy that you guys showed up.
Yeah. Okay, hold on, Rain. I do want to throw a little bit of gloating, not because we did outnumber you in 2 of the fights, so that doesn't really, But the gloating I want to have is. We've got 90 members in our Discord. You guys only got 40. And then we show up and we bring 28 and you guys bring 14. It's where's all your 90 members?
And for the record, I got Rain's kill mail in the 3rd round.
Yeah. So you got
it in the first round.
I couldn't even see my own loss mail.
And I got Ms. Moses.
I couldn't even see my own loss mail. I was so grumpy. I was like, you can't even see what I lost. Because you guys had it, but I couldn't see it. It was so obnoxious with CC.
But
okay.
You want me to go through it?
Rain's got my kill mail from Eve Vegas, just saying.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Several months ago now, okay, I feigned kind of heart palpitations over what having a boys versus girls versus boys, tournament would mean. And why are we breaking this down to these particular groups of people and what might happen. I'm gonna be honest, I was listening to the comms that I was in. Okay, I was definitely fucking vindicated about why this was a bad idea. Luckily Manic shut it down and said, hey look, our comms may be on stream, we want to talk like civil human beings and things like that. So I give him credit for that. Well, actually I give him credit for knowing that they would be on stream and it was going to be on CCP and all that kind of shit.
How bad did it get?
But also the Twitch.
It was a couple individuals.
Locker room talk.
Having never been in a men's locker room, what does that mean?
It was Trump locker room talk.
It was
we grabbed her by the pussy, Trump.
Exactly, it was that
kind of. Those are terrible. Are you kidding me?
No, it was different than that. But to me, there was the whole guys keep it clean. That whole statement I felt was directed at one person in chat. I'm not going to say a name, but
have you ever been through sexual harassment training? Have you ever been through sexual harassment training?
Yeah.
Where you're through your company where they have sexual harassment training for 15, just either rank and file or managers or anything like that. Okay. On those days when they have that and they sit there and like the person leading the class, okay, or whatever it is, basically says, okay, tell me what you think, something that might be derogatory is or whatever. And like everybody basically for that day gets free reign to be like, well, I think it might be this. And then they go on to their worst case scenario of what it might be. Right. And they and then it becomes jokes amongst the class and shit like that. Right. Because
for example,
they can say it there.
Give me an example of something someone donated someone.
We found a Stanford study that had 200 different adjectives that people use to talk about male genitalia, and we were using that to name our ships with.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was something.
They put.
Oh, that's not Trump locker room talk.
No, that
Boy
was
locker
no, that
room
was
talk.
that was the
talking
in,
about.
No, that was the in fun chat. Like that wasn't the.
Right, that wasn't
like
the.
I said, there was only one person that
one of
was
the things
actually saying some stuff where it's like, okay, don't say that when we're on the air because that's not good. But
Right.
But hold on, but forget what was said in our own private comms and things like that, right? Because that shit got locked down. I have no idea. You guys may have been talking about how like you were going to go shopping or whatever the hell it is that like
Oh,
Yeah, what did you guys talk about?
Yeah, I
I
have
wanna know
no
what you
idea what
talked
you guys were
about.
talking about. Like let's assume
Okay.
for a moment that you
No,
guys
no,
were
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
going shopping and we were just talking like
No.
locker room
Dirk,
talk.
I want to hear
no.
what the girls were talking about.
So we have a Discord. We have a specific not safe for work channel, so people can post porn or whatever. Like that's kind of common on Discords from what I've seen. We have one called Thirst, where we literally post pictures of cute guys and talk about them. And some of them are Eve players 100%, but I'm not going to name names.
Does anybody name me?
We all know it's a pop me. We know.
Was there even
we know about,
one person
we know
on
about
the girls
Ray's
team that like
thing.
would have like like
I'm so sorry.
Come
We
and
know
give me a
about
hug
your
or whatever?
apophy
No,
thing.
We talk
We
a
know
lot
it.
more about the gay males of Eve than we do about the straight males because
'Cause
the gay guys are definitely cuter. I'm so
Shopping.
sorry.
damn.
But anyway, but no, like that's the girl. So like girls can get raunchy too, right? Like girls can trash talk, girls can do shit too, right? So it's not like you guys having locker room talk.
They always
I'm
say
pretty
that,
sure. No.
like we always hear that whole thing about how they can, like, but
Well, I know one of the girls here posted about how she made a dude on Goon comms like cry or some shit. So because she trash talked him so much.
but
Damn.
I actually want to take it to
Seems
the actual
legit.
Twitch chat that happened at the time, right? Because I was watching Twitch chat. Like, I had my own little psychology
How were you
experiment that was
watching
going on. With
anything?
this
I
whole
was too
thing.
busy getting
Well,
killed.
because I sat out round 2. Okay, I sat out round 2
okay.
after the
That's
bitching
right,
and
that-
moaning about how there were more guys
There weren't enough
and
people.
whatnot. Okay, which by the way, I do want to follow up on. Okay, when we can get to the whole like numbers perspective of this, which I'm not going to do just yet. But so for round 2, I was one of the people that elected to like sit out, to make sure that the teams were equal.
Yeah, I sat out
okay?
round 2 as well.
And so I was watching Twitch chat, and I was watching kind of like like even the audience was sort of getting in. It was not high level. Is it high level or low level misogynist or anything like that? But like even they were sort of participating in not quite guys rule, girls drool kind of shit, but like a little bit like more than that, at times. And I'm sitting there going, see, this is kind of the thing, where it's kind of like, this is why you don't pit classes against one another, because once you pit classes against one another,
There's always those people that
it's
take it
going
that
to
extra
draw
step.
out some of that.
Yeah. Because I think most people can look down. I mean, I think most people, almost everyone involved in the tournament probably, and I think most people in the chat were like, they saw it as like, it's just us fucking around having fun, and they saw it in the same
That's
light.
all it
There
was.
were a couple
It
people
was
that took it
Yeah,
a little bit
some-
more serious, and whether they like it was what they were saying or what they didn't like the fact that it was a guys versus girls tournament, and it's like I think they took it a little bit above and beyond what the intention was with it. It was
And
supposed to just be a
I'll-
fuck around, have fun thing.
Yeah, and I'll add, like, having been, I would say team captain of the females, like, that was truly the intent. It was just like, hey, let's get a bunch of girls together, let's get a bunch of guys together, let's go have fun. And, like, you guys, I know you said, like, I'm bragging about, like, having 90 girls in Discord, and I know the guys' Discord immediately cleared out. The girls' Discord's staying. Like, no matter what, we're keeping the girls' Discord. We actually kicked out some of the guys who have been in there because it's like, no, this is a girls' Discord. I don't care that the event's no longer happening or, has passed. We're going to keep it. And that
Who are
was
you the judge?
Well, the guy who joined was a role player, so wasn't trans, or identified as the female
Oh man,
gender.
I just looked.
But that was-
9 Inch Male's channel's gone. Man,
Yeah,
what are you
but no,
doing?
but
We
no,
got
like
rid
that,
of
like
it.
that's my
We all
point, right? Like,
Because Manic's like, I am just not fucking dealing
Look,
with this shit.
the
For another
last thing
fucking
any
year.
of us
But-
need is another damn Discord server. Seriously.
Yeah, I
No,
got
but
a
that-
bunch.
I've only got like 30.
that was the intent, though, right? Like
Yeah,
to
I'm
have
at
fun.
18.
And I know the girls, I think I'm gonna say maybe took away something a bit different with it because we genuinely have still the Discord, whereas the guys may have split up or did this or that or whatever.
How am I gonna?
That was the intent. So, I mean, if you want to break down the matches, like, yeah, 2 of the matches were 2-1. And, that's kind of sucky when you're, like, playing and being competitive and stuff. But at the same time, it's for fun. So,
Let's go to the actual matches just for a moment, okay? Because
Yeah.
obviously when we went out there on the field and things like that, right? There were more guys, and here's where I'm bringing back the whole thing of like being outnumbered and whatnot. Excuse me for 1 second. I got coke nose or whatever, but anyways, they were outnumbered. However, okay, and I can remember this going back way early on in kind of the formation of it was I don't know what the backroom discussions were or anything like that. I know in the guys' Discord, okay, the numbers of our Discord were way lower than the numbers in the women's Discord, and there was a concern that it was like, holy shit,
we were freaking out, honestly.
Are we going to get freaking blobbed? You know, in all of that, right? So I don't know what was being worked on in terms of rules and things like that. That is something that I think is something you might want to consider for next year, making sure that there are rules for that.
So
but
the girls
it
actually
was never
compiled...
a consideration as far as I know.
So backroom channels, yeah, it was. And for the girls, we actually compiled a list of feedback. So we have Moses. Moses is top tier organizer, project runner, etc. So she's like, hey guys, here's a channel. If you want to bitch about something about the event, do it here, definitely. And then we'll take all of the feedback and try and make it in a constructive manner. For example, we intentionally, like Drayden was saying, had the rules a bit lax because it wasn't supposed to be like a tournament. It wasn't supposed to be like the Alliance tournament or a player-in tournament. It was supposed to be like a friendly match. So we didn't want to like bog people down with, you have to fly this fit, you have to follow this rule, you have to do this, you have to do that. And so we, like, that was one of the takeaways. The numbers thing was definitely, I know, on our end frustrating. And like, I remember the second match, you guys can do the shot. But in the second match, all the ladies ended up warping out because we're like, look, we just went 2-1. We're not even gonna like make this where they have, you know, like 5 people more than us, because I think you guys had technically 6 more than us. I told Manic 16.
It was like 10, I think, because we had 26, you had 16, so 10 of us had to dock up.
Yeah, we were like 10 over.
Right.
Yeah,
that,
and so
that
so,
first round.
What I thought we were gonna do.
What we learned was that we would school you regardless of the round, but.
Oh,
like
if you want to try to claim like 2 to, I was gonna say if you want to try to claim 2-1's a good victory, like you can do that, but that's on you.
See what I was.
I'll be honest. I was regretting the fact that my name starts with a B because my ass got primary in the first 2 rounds in a row.
Sorry, you didn't wait.
Yeah, but the third round was the best, and I give the girls 1,000 times credit.
They brought some nice stuff.
Pulled out all kinds of AT ships and a Raven State issue.
Yeah, we were very creative.
That nobody
the third
had seen.
round.
That was
the
badass.
third round was a study in minds, right? We went out there with shit where it's like, it was kind of traditional, old school. What could we fly? Sort of like, you know,
we didn't bring any of this super special. I think there was like one Marshal maybe, but I mean,
we didn't bring any super special stuff.
I brought
their entire team was. I want to fly the neatest thing I could.
Yeah, there was there was a lot of Marauders.
Guys, it's a kitchen sink. Let's bring all
Marauders.
That's just what everyone thought
of.
The
entire team. There were half
Marauders.
half the women's team.
Shock, a Nestor. You definitely, I'm pretty sure, had a Marshal. I know we had a Marshal.
Yeah, we had a Marshal,
but
see, here's the thing, right? Like,
maybe they don't normally fly like even like Tech 2 stuff, and therefore flying Tech 2 is cool to them. But other ones were flying super high end, you know, either Alliance tournament or
yeah,
girls are flying
the Raven State issue shit.
They just we got the stream elements from Twitch support. We're currently investigating reports of users having issues chatting in channels. Hang tight. So there is
okay. So there's that's Twitch. So the thing, like, I remember in the Twitch they were saying like, oh, they actually brought a comp. This is supposed to be kitchen sink. And the thing is, like, I can tell you from the comms, there was no planning or preparation for the final fleet. Literally, what they're like. So what are we doing third round? People like, just bring whatever you want. There's no regulations. Bring whatever ship you want. It could be anything, fit with anything. And it just happened to turn out that like we didn't even all know what we were all bringing each other. And it's like when Elo is like, okay, everyone on dock. It was just Golem, Vindicator. It was just a bunch of Marauders and like high-end battleships.
Yeah, it was.
I brought a curse. I brought a curse because I was like, I don't get to fly curses ever, and I wanted to fly one. So
I was so hung the fuck over that next morning. Okay, and like going through the bullshit from the fucking night before and whatnot, like right before it and whatnot. I get into game on on Singularity, and I'm like, are you not gonna fucking just hand me a ship? Like for the first 2 rounds, I'm like, are you not? Like, I literally had to go buy my shit off the market. I literally had to go find a fit, and I'm sitting there going, wait a second. Hold on a second.
We had
I don't even know right now how to do
Dirk
corp
his
fittings.
fit for the third round and said, "Here, just buy all this."
He gave me a Grath fucking,
I used
Golem.
the Grath Solemn Solo Golem fit. It was great.
Hey, hold on. Which was it? But the other one was like, hold on, yeah, go to corp fittings and find this. I'm like, what the fuck are corp fittings, bro? I literally, I had a fucking show last night. Somebody hand me a fucking ship.
Yeah, well,
I was on the show too, and I was fine, Dirk.
Okay, you want to hear how the girls went? You want to hear so this is why we were quote unquote fashionably for the first channel. So we're doing this, and I'm like, I wonder if we can use Alliance tournament ships. So I whisper Ama PD, and I'm like, hey, you guys have some Alliance tournament ships? They're like, yes. Here you go. So we were like funneling girls. I'm like, here, take this Vangel, take this Adrestia, take this Malice, take the. I flew the Raven State issue. That was the scariest thing in my fucking life.
That was the best thing ever. I love killing you.
Thanks, Magician.
No, I didn't fly it in the battle. I gated it, and I was fucking like shaking. I'm like, I can't have adrenaline this early in the fight.
What were you in?
I was in the Nestor.
She was in the Raven.
That's right. I killed the.
Oh yeah, she was in the Nestor. Yeah. Well, and the thing was,
no, like we had organized all the court fittings. We had this and that, and like so Baleful can only fly on Mars ships. None of our comps were on Mars. We're like, Baleful, here's what you need, blah blah blah, and then we like broke shit down. So like people who couldn't fly bigger ships could fly.
Oh, they were the coercer, weren't they?
Yep, she was the coercer.
Okay. I was saying it was a bunch of cormorants and that one coercer. I was wondering, I was like, why coercer? But okay, that makes sense. But the thing is, like, also with the last round, like, even though we outnumbered you, I thought we were gonna lose because of the fact that it's like everyone was like, "Oh,
outnumbered them the last round, the third round."
Yeah, because the first and the third round, yeah.
Because now, I know that we didn't outnumber them in the Manic and a Half versus Rain round.
No. But the thing is, the reason why I thought we were gonna lose,
eat his lunch fucking every day. That guy literally, like, I'm not even sure he knows
didn't even
what a
fit.
spaceship
He had a missing low slot. He didn't even fit a low slot on there. Like,
seriously.
he died, and it's like, I bet a plate would have been nice, huh?
Manic is a great personality, but
I mean, I'm terrible at fitting ships, but I would have filled all the slots.
Great.
Yeah,
the
but
1v1 was awesome.
Something.
But no, the reason I thought we were gonna lose is because we brought a bunch of Marauders, which are powerful and all this other stuff, but then we landed, and it's like we see all these Alliance tournament ships and all this. I was like, oh shit, yeah, those ships exist.
I was like,
I didn't even think of them.
Cool.
I was like,
I didn't even think about it either.
And I actually thought, I was like, oh fuck, because like everyone's undocking like Marauders and all these like super nice like faction or tier.
Dude, you know I rolled a
battleships,
and so I can fucking hit Bastion and hit shit from 200
kilometers.
Exactly. That's what I did.
Because I did not want to fucking like keystrokes per minute or whatever that guy with the sunglasses does.
Yeah. But I undocked in a curse, and I was like, everyone's in these super high-end battleships, and I'm sitting here in a cruiser. I'm gonna die immediately.
With
but
a really
no
long
one targeted me, and so I found the two Alliance tournament frigates that were running around. I'm like, I can nuke them out, and they're fucking worthless. So I just nuted the
Cambions.
Yeah, the two Cambions. I was just like, I got a curse. I can nuke them out. Bam, and just nuted the two of them out. And I was like, that's my contribution. Go at them, guys.
No,
I was mad though at the very end.
9:58 p.m. Okay, Eastern time. Okay, I'm not doxing myself by saying that I am East Coast. We've got 2 minutes to kind of wrap this up, and we're gonna move on to the next subject.
What were you saying, Brisk?
The only thing I was saying was I was annoyed because one of my buddies gave me his Moloch on the test server, and I didn't bring it over. And I should have brought it over to blow up those two rags that landed on us at the very end.
It was so bad we couldn't even keep that fucking rag locked down.
Well, it was a rag and a levy.
We thought you guys had brought the Titans, and you guys thought we brought the Titans, and we're all like, no, those aren't.
Yeah, these were just random dudes that were trying to scan us down.
It was
they were random.
Yeah. It was a guy. He was a mod.
It was Frank the Bank.
Yeah.
Frank the Bank's a good dude.
Yeah, Frank.
He's legit.
Yeah, because he came in like once the fight was over, the third round was over. That's when he jumped the Titan.
I give them credit.
And Elos or Manix like spanked the Frank.
Because number one could have fucked us on the undock and like made guys like me have to go fucking refit off the fucking buy market and shit like that. And it's just like, so they held off until that, which I thought was really fucking cool because obviously, like, it's a bunch of freaking like, lamos out there doing this goddamn thing, right? Like, there could have been people out there fucking with us hardcore, and the rules were girls and boys would get together and like, do the whole freaking like fight against the thing.
Fight against third parties, yeah.
But like, they were there on the freaking undock, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh man, are we all gonna get zapped? Do I have to refit this bitch again?" And I didn't say bitch only because, like,
there were girls there.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, Dirk? What do you mean, girls?
I'm just saying.
Easy.
Wimmy.
They were women.
Girls' feelings are hurt very easily.
Drayden. All that being said, we are going to roll on.
Okay, wrap this up.
Because somebody was asking before, are we going to get into fucking war talk? We are actually going to get into war talk. I'm not sure what the viewership out there is like right now. I think it is very, very, very heavily kind of Imperium and Allies based. I could be wrong, but I think that it is. I'm going to say this. Last week's show, we were very heavily attacking kind of on, oh shit, we got you locked down and whatnot. But guess what? Over the course of the last week, man, shit fucking changed a little bit. Like, there was a hell camp, a quote-unquote hell camp going on out there. There were bubbles and shit. And then, like, other things happened and whatnot. So that's what we're going to talk about now. It's not necessarily going to sound super, like, pro. If you were part of that hell camp, you held your shit together. Because, obviously, you didn't hold your shit together because, like, Wednesday morning happened and whatnot. But, like...
the analogy I was going with, it's basically Dunkirk and Eve. Like, this was Dunkirk. Like, trapped... and they all escaped. Like,
dude, did you watch that movie Dunkirk? That was like a really
no, I didn't see Dunkirk, but
I've
seen a bunch of documentaries on Dunkirk. But yeah, it's basically like trapped and beyond all odds, the vast majority of them escaped, and so it's literally Dunkirk. And I was actually going to. I actually wrote the speech, but it ended up being a bit silly, and I tried to record it, and I don't have a good voice for speeches. But I actually rewrote the Churchill "We shall fight on the beaches" speech as like an Eve parody speech, and I was gonna do that, but I tried recording it multiple times. It sounded dumb and sounded like crap.
You gotta
so
send
I scrapped it.
That'll
yeah, okay, maybe I'll get. I wanted some because
to me, I can read it.
Well, I can read it, but first I try to do it with the like. First of all, Churchill. It's not just a British accent, which I'm really bad at, but it's Churchill, and you gotta have the really weird British accent with a super drunk mumble on top of that, and I didn't want to get drunk before the show. And then I tried to just do it dramatic, and it didn't sound right, and I was just like, But
do you want to talk about? So Drayden, you actually didn't fly with Origin and Black Legion, but I was flying under Elo all this week. That's why I haven't been streaming at all. He said not to stream the ops. So you've been taking out Munins and Simmies, I think very rarely Retributions, to go and shoot bubbles, rescue our dreads, etc. And then I believe it was Elo, Headliner, Doom Chinchilla, maybe Soraya of Tri. People logging in the early morning right before downtime to log in and see if they can extract people. And that, I believe, Tuesday, Elo had linked us all a song on Discord saying, this is the song I'm going to play during Rescue Op. And it was Bustin', so the Ghostbusters themes. And he linked that to everyone, and then he saved, like, I believe at least 80 Titans out of the 100 that were left. And that was Rescue Ops. You guys have no idea. This is why we need, like, Doom Chinchilla here or something to talk about it.
Hold on. I did try to get Doom in tonight. I literally tried to get Doom in tonight.
Doom is in the Colorado Rockies having fun.
He's out like at some fucking like Doom camp out in
Doom
out in the Rockies
Doom is
someplace.
doing fun things, unlike us, where we're stuck.
I did try to get him here. I tried to get him here last week when Grath was basically holding up that side of the entire fucking war against everybody else that we fucking
Doom
had
was in the
channel.
fleet. He wasn't going to come in here when he's actually seeing and shit.
No, not last week. Okay. But this week I tried to get him here as well. He thinks that this show is too biased. He thinks like INN is too biased and whatnot. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like whatever. Anyways, I sat there and I during the course of the week, right? Because I was down there when the fucking fight went on. Like I was in the middle of the fucking fight and I had a fucking super out there and whatnot. Okay. And then went to I was on the fucking stream. Like it was a really fucking late night that night. And then we did the whole show last week. And then time went on. And over the course of days, especially in the Talking in Stations channel, there were people in there that were talking to us about well, what do you think's going on? There was this massive fucking propaganda campaign out there, right? There was the shit that happened during Talking in Stations on Sunday where people were talking about whether or not things getting petitioned out of the system. And then there was people bullshit. Sitting there flagrantly using downtime exploits and or mechanics depending on how...
This is what drives me crazy, though. I mean, look. Doom was making jokes about CCP and how folks were getting
Doom
stuff.
was okay,
That,
but
but he admitted that was fake. And Falcon had to go on Reddit and make this long post about how nobody's getting out, and 2 people got out accidentally, and one of them got moved back, and the other one was in a revelation, and they put it back in corp fitting, and it didn't matter. But the point was that nobody was exploiting. But the Reddit video of the Sphere.exe thing was probably the best shit post in the history of Eve.
So
it
good.
was so freaking good.
I don't want to move. I don't want to. I kind of want to take this through the evolution of the propaganda stream that was out there, right? Because this was one of those times. The whole freaking Sphere video and shit like that.
That video was the best video ever, dude.
That was like an end cap kind of propaganda.
Join Origin.
But like, while a hell camp is going on, okay, you have to know that the time that you are contributing to the effort matters, right?
Well,
and if
that's
the other
exactly
side
right.
can talk your fucking ass out of it, and you don't log in the same way that you did before, the hell camp begins to break down.
But that's the whole thing.
There was a lot of that going on.
The biggest concern I think everybody had, and it's legitimate, was that CCP was going to come in and save these guys, because there were legitimate problems. There were problems where when the server went down, when the node went down, and they had to remap it onto a new node, you had guys that were all over the system. You had guys that had half their modules offline, where their capacity was completely empty, and people were complaining.
CCP
so I think everybody on test side was
happens in these situations.
Right, but they were concerned that CCP was going to come in and save everybody. And the thing that I thought Falcon said that was very clear, and I think everybody's realized this, is that CCP does not want to be involved in any of these big battles. They don't want to be the reason why people win. They don't want to be the reason why people lose. And they're not going to come in after the fact and clean up messes that somebody makes because somebody had a tactical, specific reason to do something, and it didn't turn out right. So I was happy that Falcon said that. I'm hoping that calms everybody down.
He did. He said that on Sunday, and I'm telling you right now that what got into the mind of people out there, okay, was, are we camping an empty nest? Are we doing? And what I kept saying was, look, and this is to people on kind of the test and Imperium that were over there. I give credit to the Mittani, who basically I give credit to the Mittani and the leadership of the Imperium that basically pulled a bunch of stuff out by the time where it was they wouldn't allow them to be part of whether or not the hell camp broke down, because the hell camp was going to break down. It just was because of the propaganda.
What's up, Blastum?
Well, here's what I picked up on what Sort Dragon said last week during our stream. He said, the hell camp will eventually just kind of devolve itself because of attrition and people don't want to log in, but I don't think that was a precursor for everybody mass logging in and getting the fuck out, of the hell camp. So, to me, I just think over a week's time, it was nearly 7 days that they sat there.
No, it wasn't nearly 7 days. It was between 5 and 6 days that the actual hell camp went on. I counted it as 6. The enemy counts it as 5, but whatever.
But the whole
the fact of the matter is that there were people in the hell camp zone, okay, which were the legacy side of the equation, that were beginning to question leadership. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now what I told them the people that were in talking in stations to me. Pro God Legend and Villy are not going to sit there and have you camp something that they think, when they are doing everything that they can to monitor locator agents and things like that, continue to camp these things. You have to realize that this shit is probably there. If what you think is that they're pulling some sort of log off during downtime shenanigans and skating their way out, that's not probably happening. Okay, we're pretty sure that shit is fixed, and you can't quite do that. But if you believe it, and what you start to think is, you know what, I don't need to log on the way I did yesterday morning. That's how hell camps begin to break down.
That's exactly what Port 66 was saying. He's people eventually get bored and stop doing the hell camp, because hell camps are nice. It does shut down. I'll do shut. They do shut down whatever's captured for a while, but eventually, honestly, the advantages in the people that are trapped, it's in their hands, because they just have to wait it out. Eventually, the people camping them are gonna slack off, and then that's when they get out. The only thing
Plus
is,
the downtime thing.
right,
Everybody does downtime. I mean, that's the obvious time to do this.
Everybody does
right,
downtime.
right.
I mean, that's
But
the obvious time.
Right. So there's that, but
it doesn't mean that the stories that were being told out there at the time about how the old login, the whole downtime login, log
that
out
was all
trick
horseshit.
still worked. Hold on. You know what? For most people that play this game, don't know whether it does or does not work. Okay, but what you can't allow to happen, okay, is the people to begin to believe what the opponent is telling them, or what they're reading on Reddit, or what they're reading on, like, and here's kind of where the whole mind manipulation game comes in, you know, whether or not they log in. And because then what they sit there, then what the people that are in those bubbles sit there and say is, we're going to wear this shit down, and then we're going to find that moment when we just bang, we log in, we do our thing, and guess what? No legitimate fucking response.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other part about it, though, is it's not just holding them down, because here's the thing. Okay, so you're holding down this big giant super cat fleet. What is
shit happens to Denko? Exactly. It's
right,
the Bermuda fucking Triangle. Some shit's gonna happen.
That's when you
believe me, it's not all of it.
Hold on. So I'm saying it's like you got this super cat fleet locked down, so that gives you a super cap advantage, right? So you're going to use that. But the thing is, like, if you were going to use your super cap advantage and then take your Titans and supers over to take an objective, well, now those aren't camping. So you have to keep it. Basically locks your super fleet down by hell camping the other super fleet, which then basically eliminates both sides super fleet. And so now if you're going to go take an objective, you're doing it mostly with subcaps, which the other side can probably respond with as well. And so it really doesn't give you that much of an advantage, does it? It's really just, we got you by the balls for now, and then we'll see how long we can do that for. And that, to me, that's all hell camps are.
So while we have people by the balls, while you've got somebody out there by the balls, at least for a few days, and here's where I want to get to, Rain, before you describe what you were part of, like when Black Legion first extracted their dreads and shit like that. What headway was made during that time? Like, because we know that at the end, we know that at the end of that node crash, and then of course the relog in, and then of course the downtime, and then of course the downtime right after that, there was a shitload of stuff that was still logged in there, right? What was the headway that was made in the East by the people that thought they had, and did in fact have, a bubble camp of a bunch of fucking shit that was threatening them? Like,
so you mean what did the East do, or what did the West do?
Well,
I mean, you can point out the fact that, so like, Tess had, they lost their Keepstar in the fight last Wednesday, right? But at the same time, they re-anchored another Keepstar.
Anchored a Keepstar.
Yep, so they did the other Keepstar.
Hold on. We did that Friday night, and then Drayden, I think, died in
Yep. So Drayden died to the new Keepstar.
That was last Friday night. But
I mean, that's at least something, right? Like, they at least,
yes.
If you want to say Tess' objective was to anchor a Keepstar, and they did that, right? I don't actually know if Test hit anything. I know as Black Legion, we were
Markson, you gotta chill, because I remember your name from last week, and even I'm not fucking drunk enough to not remember your name. So, she muted.
Rain, push stop. Oh yeah, sorry, Rain, you were muted for a little bit. Yeah, restart.
So
Stop
I know
being
from
muted,
the
Rain.
East perspective, like, we really focused on, I think, extracting dreads. I know we also had a little like mini excursion Sunday, like near Amamake space, so Cremonin. That I think is completely unrelated to this war. But I don't know if you would say what did the East do to make headway, or vice versa. What did the West do? I can't speak for the West. I know for sure they anchored a Keepstar, which is what they wanted to do. So that's probably
hold on. And that's why it was like literally over the course of last weekend. Yeah, last weekend. Like, there were people out there like trying to debate whether or not objectives have been met, whether or not ISK value, like, kill mail shit had been. And it's like, look, you're going to have to measure this fucking thing over the course of a couple of days, because we'll see how this works out.
I mean, it was just one big battle of the war, and yeah, the Hell Camp was very beneficial, especially to the West, detrimental to the East. But it's a war; it's not decided by one battle, or it doesn't seem like it was decided by this one battle. So we'll have to see what's coming. And I believe the North.
Not that one battle, and not the course of the first couple days, because obviously the next Keepstar went up on Friday, right? So like,
and
the battle happened
in the
Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then like Friday the Keepstar anchored online during this show and shit like that. But like, what hay got fucking made while the sun shined, while shit was locked into those fucking bubbles over the course of the next several days until the breakout happened. And this is where I think that like the Imperial Legacy side kind of like didn't actually do what it needed to do at that, you know, at the time that shit was locked down. And maybe it was more the Legacy side than the Imperial. I'm not quite sure yet, but
maybe that's, I don't know if you know this, Stark. Did you guys do anything in the north while this was going on? I know
there
the
was
battle.
stuff
Well,
happening
we've had
in the north, but
bunch of fleets in the north. I mean,
Okay.
we've had a bunch of fights with CO2, and we've taken advantage of the fact that CO2 couldn't rely on the NCPL armor, you know, super fleet to be protecting them. So we've killed a bunch of CO2 assets. We had a good fleet the other day. We took out, basically it was just a back and forth escalation that turned into a Titan kill. We killed Gigax's Titan. It was just a lot of fun. Back and forth fights in the north have been a lot more fun since that fleet has been bottled up in the south and has not been able to come up and deal with us.
2 days after this show, I think it was it I believe it was Monday of this past week. There was an engagement in shit. I'm gonna fuck up the name, 9 or N or something, whatever. The whole was Pro God Legends Chimera fueled, you know, kind of thing, right? Where Northern forces basically dropped dreads and shit like that and stymied, you know. Did anything happen while the stuff was locked down in those bubbles that advanced the war effort on the Eastern Front?
It's been quiet. As far as I can tell, it's been relatively quiet. There have been a couple of big fleet battles since then, but I mean, the bulk of everybody's attention has been on the Hell Camp, even though not much has been happening there.
And then the Hell Camp happened, which I'm going to throw out there, like maybe like in this Russian purge fucking video, in case anybody wants to like see it at a late time. Honestly, they fucking logged in and left. They like schizoed the fuck out of there, and like when I say schizoed, I don't mean like they fucking hacked shit or like where they came in, they fucking did their thing and like, you know, skatewalked.
They I know you can see them smart bombing bubbles. Whoa. They logged in smart bomb bubbles. This was right before downtime. So obviously if there was some sort of defense, they would be able to hopefully not die. I heard a Ragnarok almost died though, so that was kind of spooky.
Now, Rain, Black Legion came in, I believe, hours earlier, the night before, or whatever it was, and extracted dreadnoughts. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, at that time, they killed some bubbles there, because there were a bunch of like, you know, reports of how like bubbles got killed the night before by Black Legion, and they weren't fully replaced and things like that.
Yep, that's correct. So Black Legion, so we'd fly in with Munins and Simmies. I believe there was some strategy Elo was using. I think it involved drones, but it was pretty much fly around. So Test/Imperium had fighters, or carriers,
my cat wants
with
out.
fighters.
I gotta let my cat out.
Oh my god!
I had to do that earlier.
Right.
Look, I know. Like she's sitting there going,
talking.
"Are you locking me in tonight? What the fuck?"
I had the same problem.
So we just like shot fighters, then we shot bubbles, then we shot fighters, then we shot bubbles. There was one point where like Elo was flying us around, and like me and the other Lodgies noticed a vulture, and we're like, Elo, the vulture, and he's like, who the fuck's vulture is that? It was like some random blue. He's like, oh, fine, we'll fly over to the vulture. So we like rescued a vulture at one point. I have no idea who it was, but it was just one of those like random bullshit things. Like we were just flying around, like I want to say farming kills, but we were just, I believe, strategically shooting bubbles to try and get people out while attempting to have fun with it. Because honestly, shooting bubbles is pretty boring. Like shooting at interceptors or dictors burning at us is kind of boring. Like it's not like a fleet brawl where it's like super intense. You got to be on your game or whatever.
When Port 66 is asking.
I was. You can.
Were you on your Logi game?
Yeah,
I was.
She was. She was
calling
them Logi call outs. I heard it.
Oh yeah, I definitely am on my game. So it's like.
Well, we did hear her at a later time, but like.
Rain is super logical.
You, Drayden, may have heard her at a different time because you're BL, but.
Yeah, well, I actually wasn't on that fleet, so I heard it in the video.
We heard her during the hack fucking incident.
the sphere.exe.
Whatever, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Actually, we are there yet. We are there yet.
Are we not?
I think we're there.
I think we should talk about it.
I linked the sphere.exe video.
Yeah, I linked it as well.
I think we are.
You guys were like, you know, using fucking Sphere and API and shit like that to fucking like hack where bubbles were and like booshing them off onto a keep star while you guys just like all jumped out.
Exactly.
It's so well done because I watched and I was like, wait, did we really do that? And then it's like, no, we didn't. I was almost convinced.
See, Drayden, you're a way bigger stoner than the average fucking Eve player.
Dirk,
I'm a bigger stoner than most people that actually smoke pot.
And Dirk was like, "Is this real? I don't
But
understand."
That's not what I fucking said.
That's what you said, Dirk. That's what you said.
That is not what I said.
Who literally
said,
thought that it was real
of this
and had reported it to CCP. CCP got a number of reports about that video saying these guys are hacking. You got to deal with it, and it was hilarious.
So
Falcon and I were talking about it the other day. It was hilarious.
I said, what element of this is real? Okay, yeah, go ahead and link it.
You should play it.
I'm going to link the video.
For anybody who wants a tinfoil about shit.
Do we want me to play it?
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. The theme song.
I think we should play it and
It's
then
a
talk
long
about
video.
Do any?
It's really long.
Actually, it is really fucking long. Okay,
It's like a
look,
6
if you
or
want to watch
7
this
minute
afterwards,
video.
number one, most of these people have all fucking watched it before. Okay, other ones
I'll
click
link
on
it.
it and like,
I'm linking it. I got it.
The fact of the matter is, there's a whole bunch of shit here about like fucking injection and sphere and like what it can do. Like ultimately though, when I ask the question, what level of this is legitimate? Because in every fucking lie is a bit of truth, right? And this goes back to when we literally had on Talking in Stations the crew that is responsible for ESI, okay, as to what information is available to people out there, okay? And on Sundays Talking in Stations, the whole idea of like knowing where your ship is relevant to other objects in space being bubbles and things like that, the XYZ location of where the ship is, and then also, where these, like, it came up. Falcon was silent during that point. He was not actually giving answers to that. So my whole thing is whether or not Eve API information can at least give you kind of, if you know that you've got a bubble of dreads, okay, like a cluster of dreads within a certain place, and you can sit there and say, okay, look, we've got 9 bubbles that are around these guys that we've got to take out. We'll figure out what they are once we get there, but we know that they're within these particular 9 bubbles. Is there a way? The whole video itself is a sham. Okay, that's not how it actually went down. But I do question what information continues to be given out to various parties and everybody in Eve, but those who know how to fucking work it.
So do you want like the most basic answer, Dirk?
You can give me the most basic answer, like if you understand how the API works and all that.
So actually, I would say throw that out. Have an alt watch the grid. So you're sitting there with a cloaky alt watching the grid. Say, hey guys, everyone log in at downtime. We're gonna look at where these bubbles are. You have everyone log in. You look at it from a top, so similar to like, I don't know, like probing in Eve. So you look at it from the top view, you look at it from a side view, and you say, okay, downtime hits, log out. I have, this stuff of approximately where you guys are. Next day, servers come up. You log in again, and you just like watch, like let's say you have no job, you don't have to sleep, you just watch it. And then as time for sleep comes, so you're an Eve player. So as time comes to log in, you say, okay, I know from last downtime, my dread logged in. He was at this point from this angle, this point from this angle. So I'm gonna attempt to like eyeball, shoot the drone, or not shoot the drones, Jesus, shoot the bubbles around that general area. And then I'm gonna like eyeball it, like simple screenshots. You don't need an API, you don't need an ESI, you don't need a sphere like executable. You don't need anything. You just literally take.
Don't be wrong.
Like, look at
I'm not saying anybody fucking hacked here. I'm like I'm going into kind of planning mode, right? Where it's like, can you plan based on information that people are able to grab out of the API based on various players? You don't need to know the location of every single ship in there once you know that like we're all in a big group together anyways, right?
Well, I don't think you can pull that kind of data, Dirk. I don't think you can pull that kind of data, honestly. I mean, that was part of the reason why they did ESI, was that you didn't have to provide as much information as the APIs did.
No, literally fucking ESI and like a bunch of shit out there gave a slew of information, and forget about like the active.
It used to be.
Not as much as API used to be.
Well, here's my question though. Generally, if the dreads are going to sign, someone probably had a bookmark at where the dreads were, like whether there was a bookmark
make a corp. Yeah, make a court
It
bookmark.
doesn't have to
That's
be a
even
court
better, Trey.
bookmark.
Instead of looking at pictures,
Someone had a personal
look at
bookmark,
bookmark.
and it's like, and they can look at that and be like, that's where our stuff is in that general area. So if we kill the bubbles around there, that's where our ships are. So we kill the bubbles, log them in, and sign them out.
And that's the most basic information, right? Like I know people who literally move their super or their Titan based on downtime. Like they'll log in like a minute till downtime, max tank it, and then sino out, and then like wait a few days till they cap up. Yeah, and it's like the most archaic thing, and it's slow and it's tedious, and you still might die, but like people do it and they manage to get successful moving through like places like Iridia, like fucking Derelict, shit like that.
Yeah, and Nate the Great also is that you can bookmark wrecks, so it's like if you like, I mean, the night of the fight and stuff, I guarantee there were some people looking and be like, that's where stuff has died. Bookmark it, so that's where generally stuff is.
Why not?
I mean, it's like, I mean, bookmarks is all you really need, and then you have a spot that you can see in space. It's like, that is the spot I need to clear out.
And it has nothing to do with hacking or even like something I want to say complex like API or ESI, because like if it were my dread, I would have no idea how to do that. Like I'd have to make someone.
Well, because like the API or the ESI, like it'll tell you what system you're in. I don't think it'll tell you the exact grid location, like, you know, in the system of the exact spot you're going to log in and land at. I don't think ESI gives that information. I think only Eve's servers have that information.
I don't want to hear, I think.
Well, that I'm thinking,
Well,
Dirk.
I know, Drayden.
Whether you like it or not, I'm thinking. So
I wouldn't
Which is a
trust
start.
it. I'd
That's
have
a
to
good
go out
thing.
there and like I'd have to get people that I trust like on that fucking technical side of things. All that.
We could bring someone in for that if you
blast
wanted.
We can get
hell,
Falcon
yes, I
to
am
come
wearing
on,
pants.
right?
I'm wearing
You
like
can ask Falcon to come. He
I
should
got
come.
salmon
he's
shorts
probably
on, bro.
sleeping at this point.
I'm like fucking
Did you say
rolling.
salmon shorts?
Fuck yeah, I got salmon shorts on.
Salmon,
Man.
He
yeah.
means red. They're
They
red.
got,
No,
they
it's
got like a
salmon.
little fucking whale on them and shit.
It's pink.
There you go. I had those exact same pants actually.
Of course you
Vineyard
do.
Vines.
Of course you do. Because you're
Oh
a
my
fucking upstanding human
God.
being.
Vineyard Vines.
It's not pink.
They're
It's
good.
light red.
Fucking
Yeah, they have a
rolling
color
some
for that.
vines,
It's called
bro.
pink.
My wife laughed. She's like, "Oh, I got you some salmon shorts." I'm like, "They're red, dude."
Dude,
Come on.
Port, I
Salmon's
used to say
pink.
they were old guy pants too, but like, no. All of a sudden it was like,
Yeah, like-
I've had this shit for a long fucking time, and it's like, no. Then my daughter's like, oh man, all my friends at school are wearing Vineyard Vines. I'm like, really?
I buy my Vineyard Vines
Is that place
actually
back?
on the vineyard.
I'm gonna fucking AFK, Jesus.
All that
What?
being
Ray
said,
doesn't wanna
I go to-
talk- Ray
I
doesn't
go to
wanna
Hot
talk-
Topics.
Ray
Just
doesn't want
saying.
to talk about men's fashion
all that
now.
being said,
Yeah.
I
What a
do
bunch
want to
of
go
crap.
back to the concept of I believe, okay, that the whole fucking propaganda campaign that took place in two places, okay, it took place with guys like Doom Chinchilla who were putting a bunch of misinformation out there and things
But that's
like
what
that.
Doom
It took
does.
place on Reddit. Okay,
Yeah.
where then all of a sudden, like when this shit fucking went down, the Reddit fucking like mods like kicked off and like decided to go on some sort of vacation that none
We
of
went
them
on
can fucking
strike.
afford as Reddit mods. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
Dirk,
like
as their union
this
steward,
allowed
shop steward,
propaganda to like go
they
crazy
did
out
not
there.
want to deal with 2 solid days of Doom Chinchilla's derping and a bunch of other nonsense. So they went on strike because they wanted to have at least a couple of, at least the respect that the Star Citizen mods get, and they wanted at least weekends off and some other things. So we
Honestly-
went on strike and we won. We won. It was a victory. So congratulations to Jib and the rest of our edit mods.
Fuck them.
They did what they needed to do.
We should have strike forced that shit, broke the fucking union, and just like massacred them all, and like started a
Nice
new
try.
fucking Reddit Eve that would have like been way more fucking top down.
Solidarity. We won.
All that being fucking said, I do believe that the propaganda in this case was extremely strong.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, the propaganda the
I
last
think it
2
did
weeks
break
has been so
down
freaking
individual
good.
line members who are way more connected to things than they were a few years ago. I believe that propaganda can work against your enemy's line members way more now, which means that leadership needs to be sitting there speaking to their line members, making them believe that what they're doing, because obviously what we know, and this is what every fucking line member that failed to log in during those times needs to fucking know. Your leadership won't make you log in for fucking nothing. They're doing everything they can. And if you fucking bail because you no longer believe, that's why shit didn't get caught that day.
Well, and here's the thing is, a lot of general line members, myself included, don't really know what the hell's going on a lot of the times. But
None of us do. I'm a fucking line member.
Exaggerating.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll log in when I need to.
That's why I said myself
I
included.
log in when the pings come down. That's
well,
what
right,
I do.
but what I'm saying is like the leader, like trust me, if there was some actual like exploit or hacking shenanigans going on, you would be hearing it from Matani, and he would be like saying shit. You would be hearing it from the upper echelons of leadership, and when you aren't hearing that this stuff is actually happening, it's probably not happening. So it's probably just a bunch of fodder going on.
You got to err on the side.
I mean, look, the bottom
line
is
Eve Voodoo
if you
is
see
not
stuff,
and it's not you, Voodoo Stew. Eve Voodoo is not fucking happening. Number one, when somebody sits there and like throws out there fucking Eve Voodoo like being passively aligned and shit, it's like Eve Voodoo's not fucking happening. Listen, do the thing that people before you like did. Have fucking patience. Have a fucking 30-day hell camp of a system because
the
you have
bottom line
patience.
Is, if you read something on our Eve, just assume that it's bullshit until somebody says, hey, this is not bullshit, this is real. Because the fact is, all the good April Fool's style jokes, all the good propaganda and everything is going to be on the Reddits, on the subreddit. So just assume that everything on there is a joke until proven otherwise.
Right.
I mean, just like Falcon, even when you see
fucking Doom Chinchilla didn't even have to like put out hats that said my Titans are out.
Right. I mean, even sometimes, I mean, they got punked by somebody who was claiming to be a CCP dev, and they had the right flair and everything. And even then, sometimes you got to be careful. So just assume it's not true unless you see somebody saying, "Hey, this is legitimate. It's actually happening."
I mean, if you're looking at
Dirk, did you see
like
that tweet?
if you're looking at the Eve subreddit and you're like, this is all true,
what the fuck?
then you're in for a world of hurt because like don't
Correct.
go to
Brain
Eve
damage.
subreddit for
I look at
actual
notifications.
information.
This is why I don't look at that.
You go there for the drama,
posted
not
on
for the
Discord,
not
too.
for
Oh,
the
it
facts.
stuck you.
Dirk, you need to look at it because it's funny. I mean, you'll
it
sit
stuck
there
in
and
it?
laugh your ass off. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so Stuka says, Dirk, test reinforced the 3 Eastern ports in the aftermath of UALX. The East, Batphone, NC. Horde, and Guardians of the Galaxy for the armor timer.
You mean
There are
Dead
too many
Coalition?
for tests to fight and keep the camp at the same time. This is before they were test coalition. Then he says, Rain. Dreads were let out. The camp was basically over then. So I believe that was when we were shooting the bubbles.
There
with
is
Tito.
that. There is also the whole idea of hours before. When I say hours before, I'm not saying like 1 hour before or 2 hours before, but like several hours before, but not a day, because they would have said a day. That the whole idea of the Super Cap fleet kind of stood down. And I was gonna make a whole joke tonight about how like somebody got bought the fuck off, but like that's not really what happened. Really, what happened was like the fucking camp just died. The fucking hell camp just died.
On
It died
days
on
of
multiple fucking
downtime,
levels.
that's when you do it. You wait till everybody's tired and they think nothing's going to happen, and then
Because
everybody
this was
logs in.
always going to happen at downtime, people. For those people
exactly.
out there that don't, it was always going to
Always
happen
gonna be
at
down.
downtime
The-
to
the-
use as a backstop.
The one thing with that one video, I think you linked it in Skype, Dirk. The one where it was the Russian guy. That video, like when I first watched it, I was like, I thought you were linking it because of the ridiculous. Because I watched the video and I think it was the camera angle and you couldn't see that the bubbles were missing, and it's like
There's
it looked.
also tweets from my wife out here, so I gotta go look at those. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I'll be right back.
it looked like a bunch of the Titans and Supers were coming down and then signing out in the bubbles. I was like, what the fuck is... I was like, this is bullshit. Like, how is this happening? And then I was like... Because even when the camera guy zoomed in, it looked like they were still in a bunch of bubbles. I was like, is this video made to show the ridiculousness of what's happening? Or... And then I found out it was just to actually show them moonwalking out because they logged in and Test was not there in force and could do nothing to stop them.
Hey, Dirk, can you have Mrs.
Leslie
McGurk
Lou,
bring us
okay,
all
yeah, yeah.
Baconators, please?
Mrs. McGurk is still en route to the location. She still has her fucking desto set.
She better not be
There you
texting
go.
and driving, Dirk.
No, she's not texting while driving. I believe that my daughter is actually tweeting for her.
We have managed
Actually, no,
velocity.
she's bitching about the fact that I have
in
got a
Twitch chat.
pile of chicken fried steak and still have a chicken parmesan on the side.
Manic, okay, Manic's
Velocity
here.
in chat, bless his heart.
Yeah, Manic.
I know he made.
Bless
if
his
you-
heart.
If you see
you know,
a
Manic
black,
comes from a state where bless his heart, like, literally means.
I have a
you're so
coworker.
Yeah, go
I
fuck
have a
yourself.
coworker from North Carolina. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
but
okay,
Don't
Manic.
say,
Velocity
don't say
made
bless
me-
you. Don't
bless
say
your
God bless you.
heart.
However,
Bless your
like,
heart.
I do want to say
Yes.
that this
Fuck you,
was
Chris.
a really
That means
fucking
go fuck
interesting
yourself.
week. This was an interesting week that is also a learning experience for other people that are out there, like, you know, involved in these kinds of wars that we have in nullsec and shit like that. It's like, know you got your shit locked down. Know that the fucking bubbles need to stay up. Know that this is how it fucking happens. And know, N-O.
I have no idea what they're
the number, right the number, before it was all K and no. Okay. Now it's no, N-O. Okay. The number of like crazy ass fucking shenanigans that they used to be able to play are no longer in play the same way that they used to. Just fucking do the thing. Go out there and capitalize when you know you've got shit locked down. Go. Don't give up. Don't give up. No, Yuffie. Coke's not kicking in. I just had crazy like fucking nose before, and it was kind of like Coke nose. It wasn't actual fucking Coke nose.
I was gonna say shout out to Manic because he actually made the Black Legion Alliance tournament advert. So when you guys see that tomorrow, you can definitely be
it's good.
Yeah, Manic, that's a good video, and then you can add him.
It's a good show.
Is that how Manic knows how to PvP? He does a Black Lions, but
he's like, fuck,
Black Legion Alliance tournament video. He's like, oh yeah, fuck me.
No, it's a really good video.
I swear to God, him and I are gonna fucking 1v1 one night, and it's gonna be like fucking Timmy and Jimmy.
Wait, this is for Manic.
Kills you,
wait,
1v1.
There you go. It would be a slap fight. Timmy.
Here's for Manic.
Timmy.
Timmy.
I like
He's so Jimmy.
Like it's so good because what was it with the FanFest ones with the Grath Alexa thing was obviously like the best commercials of the whole thing. So
that was great.
So I'm excited to see what we got here.
He says, "I don't play Eve. I just make memes." It's
basically
that's
true.
That's fine. They're good memes. That's
Manic could literally make an advert for me, and like I wouldn't even care what it was. It'd be fucking hilarious. Like
all
such
of the
a good
memes,
humor.
I'm happy that he posted all of the.
Do they allow cigars in Utah?
They were so good.
Because they were so freaking hilarious.
So everyone's talking about who won, boys versus girls. The true battle was on Twitter with memes and like shit posting and videos, and like the best part was like every fucking like GIF or whatever making fun of boys versus girls always made fun of Elo, and it like promoted like other dudes like good job Pro God, good job Sutonia, good job Dirk, and it was just like making fun of Elo, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
I never got any shout-outs.
I don't know why, Brisk.
I know.
Can I give a shout out and one shot? I'm gonna pour it up. I gotta move beers out of the way and shit like that.
I'm almost empty.
If you just did a shot, like you don't have to do one with me, but I am gonna give a fucking shout out there because
I'll do a shot with you, bro.
Man, Elo does not have a fucking low gear. That guy, whether he is beating the shit out of like 26 guys to like whether he's blobbing out fucking women or whether he is like even up or whatever, he is literally the same guy. He's like fucking Octopus Man. He's like yeah, bang, 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 bang. It was like his voice was moving a mile a minute and everybody was with him. We're all fucking anchored up and we're just shooting shit. Because he's
when Elo makes fun of me, I feel privileged to be made fun of.
That fucking best motherfucker. There is nobody better in this game with 118 pilots in South.
Yeah.
Shots.
There are better fucking pilots out there with 256 and whatnot, but like honestly, you give that guy 118 pilots, he can do like a fucking like refugee war that none of you ever want to fucking say.
He can rescue 80 Titans.
I really do want to get that kill mail that I had of Reigns framed and like put in my office somewhere.
Oh yeah, Brisk.
I wish.
I will never.
I'm never gonna get that on Tranquility.
Vegas, but still.
So having it on
that
CC
motherfucker,
is good
like
he's gonna be at Vegas this year.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I think we're gonna have a good time at Vegas.
Every fucking bottle you have.
So is Blaster Masterson? Like Blaster Masterson's gonna be there. Elo's gonna be there. It's gonna be so.
I can't wait. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna get to see Blaster. I'm gonna get to see Rain and Dirk and all these.
I'm actually surprised at how many Black Legion people are gonna be in Vegas. It's gonna be
like
amazing.
Full on Mama Rain.
People say Elo #1 FC. Okay, look. Elo's not #1 FC when you do max fleet 256 type shit.
He's top 50 on Z-Kill, so unless you can find other FC to do that.
I'm not taking away from you. I'm saying he has a special niche in this game where he doesn't even actually have to reach 256 max fleet size to be able to like get in there, right? Like I have no idea what he would be able to like coordinate as a fucking Sky Team master across like all this kind of shit, right? What I do know is that like in that whole like
Elo was FCing
147, like
Dirk.
146 type thing.
Dirk, Elo was
And down?
FCing that UALX fight. Like he was FCing all of those capitals.
I know, like Doom Chinchilla, like, you know,
No,
like, won't
that
admit
was
to,
Elo.
like, Elo was doing that. But,
That
like,
was Elo. That was Elo.
no,
That was Elo.
I'm not giving him that kind of credit. But if he does steal fucking booze in Vegas this year, shit's gonna fucking happen.
I do like the fact that
hot drop your ass, fucking Elo.
I like the fact that
We'll have a shot like with the bottle you steal, but like still.
I love how
You'll still
Elo
break the bottle.
Elo's got his normal mode, which is, you know, a degaff mentality. Like he just low key degaff everything. But then when he goes into FC mode, he can't turn that off because the whole girls versus boys.
No, he can't.
The girls
That's
versus
like-
boys thing
that's
was supposed
like
to be like
fucking
a fuck
literally
it, let's have
I
fun.
swear to
And
God, he
Elo
was
was like
born out of
super
a pot.
serious, like FC mode at that point. He was just like, he's like, guys are splitting fire. It's like,
He
fuck
was
it, man.
born
Let's
out of
just
a
go
pot.
bowling. You know,
Like, the DNA is born into him.
I was just excited that I finally got to say I've been on an Elo fleet now, so that's cool because I did.
And
vote
now
out.
you understand what we're talking about, though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
The
look,
hold on. He
I
has
think
a
he's great. I had a lot of
rate of
fun.
fire of his voice than
Risk, you can
guns
join
do.
Black Legion. Dirk, you can join Black Legion.
Look, I had a lot of fun with
Elo.
Elo.
Or
Hold on.
Now, look,
ESI.
I
We
will say
don't
flat
have
out.
to
What the
experience
issue
the
is.
Elo
It
experience by
sounds like you're
joining
having
Black
fun.
fucking
It
Legion.
sounds like you're having fun flying with Elo more than
It
you
was
are fun
fun.
with Imperial.
No,
That's
I was
not
out-
true.
I was out there with some guy
Pando
today.
is always going to
fucking,
be
like,
the
you
FC
know,
of my heart.
He
But
can be the
I
FC of
had
your
fun.
heart, but you can actually have
Elo
fun flying
was
with
fun,
Elo.
but Pando is my guy.
Number one, you should also learn what it's like to go up against Elo, so that therefore your FCs can learn and stuff like that. But I'm saying he actually has a fucking hand on this game by Sphere that is like different than like everybody else. It might
Dirk,
not
can
be
you-
like
can you
because of
explain-
injection. He may be injecting his own shit. He may be having injection on his thing.
Can you explain what Sphere is for those in chat who don't know, Dirk?
I believe it came out of. I believe it is a.
Is it a Linux
that
thing, or
came
is it just
out
something
of
that
Pandemic Legion that was loaned to Black Legion?
The guy's name was
To be able
Monkey
to get their
Sphere.
From
Dreadnought
Did
Pandemic
that.
Legion,
Yeah.
and they initiate it when catching Russian supers. who
No,
are-
it's got nothing to do with Russians. This is not a fucking anti-Trump show. Relax.
Okay. I'm just saying
Well,
the
I'm-
history.
It has to do with. There are smart people in Pandemic Legion that apparently loaned the current version to Elo. Oh shit, my wife's here. Oh no, it's my daughter.
I like how he's like super scared.
Whoa, I can see that
Because-
midriff!
because-
Oh,
Whoa,
Dirk,
whoa!
midriff!
Totally different comments would have happened. What did you
That's
bring me?
that's like Chipotle.
She brought me a spicy chicken sandwich that has been
Your daughter's
unwrapped
on
3
camera.
times.
Dirk,
Look.
get your daughter off camera.
Hold on. She's
Look.
She's cute, but there are
Mrs.
weirdos in
McGurk,
chat.
There's
is
a lot of-
amazing, and I
Hold on.
want her
They
to
said
bring me
you're
Dirk,
too
bacon.
top
Dirk.
off my fucking camera.
No,
Or-
get her off cam. No, don't get the tube top off. Get her off camera.
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't say that.
You said
Dirk, tell her to step to the left a
Hold
little.
on, because
so
I
the
thought her
weirdos
two
in
top
chat-
would go. Just step to the side. Step to the side a little bit.
Okay,
There we
okay.
go.
Perfect.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
How many clips do we have of that?
Holy shit.
well.
I didn't mean just
life
get
shift
her
up to
tube
delete them
top
all.
off and then move.
Cortex quotes, I'll be your daddy.
He was
quote.
not
Oh,
trying
Jesus.
to flirt with your daughter. That's what he was not doing. Don't worry.
Hold on,
Don't worry,
This
Dirk.
is new Skype. I'm up here in the top right hand fucking small ass corner.
Is
Ew.
it you?
Ew.
I love it.
Dirk,
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Dirk, bring
No.
your
I'm gonna go to
daughter
the
to
bathroom. You
Vegas.
talk. Yeah. Stop. Whoa, shut up, girl.
What are we doing? What?
She's
What
sassing
just
him.
happened?
She's
Oh.
sassing him. That's what she's doing.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
You have a
There you go.
cat.
Hey, what's up?
What's his name?
His name is Howie, and he likes to bother me during
name
the
is
during
Cat
the
Rubal.
show.
My cat. She doesn't like anyone.
She
I-
was in here
hold on,
earlier. but she
okay,
was
okay,
crying
so-
and, Dirk
Are
had
you
to let
going to
her out.
Vegas with us in October?
I'm not.
She-
My
she-
dad.
she
wants
wanted to.
take
I know
me,
she
but
wanted
he
to.
said he's not going to till I'm 21.
You should
Yeah.
go anyway. We'll make
Oh, there
sure
you go.
you are
Yeah.
treated like a 21-year-old, if you know what I mean.
It's more fun when you're 21.
I'm gonna be at college.
We'll get you a fake
That's the
ID or
best
something. You know, we
time
can get you a
to
fake
go.
ID. We'll get you in
No,
the.
don't do fake ID. They always.
We'll get you in. We'll get you in
Stop
Dre's
trying to
I'll get a
club.
fake ID.
Don't get a fake ID. That's very easy for them to detect a fake ID.
Well, now they
You gotta
have
go to bars
barcodes.
that don't have that thing that can check.
Or you could just have a 21-year-old.
Or you could just be in Idaho where they don't.
Designated driver.
You could be in Idaho where they don't know what barcode scanners are, and they just go like, okay. They don't even look at the name of the age. They just look at your picture. Are you the the one on the
she's not going to
picture?
Idaho.
Okay, you're in. That's how they do it
Drayden's a
up
good
here.
person. Drayden's really tall. And he has good looks, personality, and he makes a lot of money. So he has
Yeah.
all three pillars.
I don't make a lot
I
of
heard
money.
he's like
Humble.
really tall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty tall. Hold on. Speaking of cats, though, did you keep that kitten?
It wasn't mine. I was watching. How do you know about the kitten?
Because I have Twitter.
Did my dad tweet it?
No, your mom
have
did.
Your mom.
Your mom tweeted.
Your mom
it.
tweeted it
Yeah,
out.
Your
her name
mom
was
was
Mary Jane.
Of course it is. Who named that?
My friend. It's
Oh.
not mine. It's
Oh,
my
okay.
friend's.
Okay.
We're talking about Mary Jane.
That's a shame.
Drayden
The
perked
kitten.
up on Mary Jane.
We're talking about Mary
That's a
Jane.
good name for a
the
cat.
kitten.
Yeah. We called her MJ.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
It's like
I'm
Spider-Man.
getting kicked out, so. peace
Oh.
out.
It was nice
Hip
chatting.
Hop just came. He's like, you talking about
Bye.
Mary Jane?
Later, bitches.
Bitches.
Nice.
Dirk Jr. for the win.
Turk,
Wait,
why
number
would you
you
want to
want?
come to Vegas with us?
There's like, hold on.
Is Mrs. McGurk
We're not
coming to
getting
Vegas?
into that right now. But like 90% of
always
the people
does.
out there have no idea that years ago when I was banging on the fucking like ceiling across like
Oh, I remember.
and I was
labia.
yelling that bad word.
Labia. That's not a bad word. It's a body.
Labia.
It's actually a what do you call
The
it?
body part? What's wrong with
Well, no,
saying
no.
that?
I'm not. I don't want to say
See,
scientific. I'm
this
saying
is
it's
your
a
opportunity to ask her.
medical
What did you
term
think
for
your
the
dad
actual
meant that
part.
day?
It's not even like a. It's not even a slang word for it.
So bad. All that thing. It's like I walked upstairs, gave my wife a kiss on the fucking cheek. She used to come down and be the one that would be like, "Hey, I'm here. It's all good." All that being
Jesus,
said,
wait until you're drunk and yelling at her like you always do, Dirk.
all that being said, we have the Alliance tournament tomorrow.
That's
All
shit.
right.
Right, that's
literally
tomorrow.
begins
I-
tomorrow.
Are you guys ready? Are you guys all
Way
ready?
to change the subject,
totally
Dirk, because you knew
ready.
Rain was going to go crazy as soon as you said
so
that.
ready.
Hold on.
I have my alarm set already. I'm gonna wake up at like fucking 8 o'clock. Be like, all right, here we go. Commentary time, go.
That's 6 a.m. How do you do it?
Rain. How did Laz get a flight the fuck over there, and you're still over here in like sheet behind you? Zone?
So, Lastel and Black Bart Pirate are both going there for the first 2 weekends. So that's this weekend and next weekend. And then myself and Elise Randolph are going there for the last 2 weekends. So that's the 11th and 12th, as well as the 18th with the finals.
Okay.
So when they were like, hey, you guys need to apply this and that, because obviously Nottingham in the UK, they have a lot of British AT commentators, they have a lot of British AT hosts, so they're able to really leverage local talent, whereas like when they had a budget for flying people over, similar to how CCP has done it in the past, they had to be very selective, which is why both Laz and Black Bart Pirate had to apply to get in.
Every time I hear that name, Black Bart Pirate, my mind goes elsewhere.
Yeah, hold on. Can you? Hold on.
I have.
Rain.
yeah.
Can you tell us who Black Bart
Yeah,
Pirate
I'll do
is?
that. So Black Bart Pirate
He
flies...
doesn't have E in any of his names, so it's like I'm wondering why he doesn't like E, but like whatever.
No, so he actually flies with the NC team. I believe it was the past 3 years. He has been an active member upon their team, as well as he's able to speak clearly and concisely about commentary, analytics about the Alliance tournament. So that is why he was selected. And same with Laz. Laz has proven himself in the past with commentary, so that's why he was selected. That's not.
And he's fucking Laz.
Well,
I mean, yeah, Andy's Laz, but that's not to put down any other players. I know many other commentators, analysts are going to be helping remotely. So tomorrow we'll have the main CCP stream. I believe that's starting at 1400. So you will go on CCP channel. You'll see people in Nottingham in the studio, the commentators, the fights. But at the same time, there's two matches running side by side. So you have the JB007 match as well as the PE1 match. So the second arena, if you want to call it.
Is there any
that,
fear that Laz might fuck up and talk about Siege?
No, not at all.
Okay,
So,
I'm just making sure because it's like even though I know it's fucking Laz with quotes over it, okay, and bold. Like honestly, like like he was the last we knew with Eve, he was a warships and fucking siege guy.
I understand, but no. So then, additionally, in the second arena, will be that will be streamed by Apothony on the Plus10 Gaming. So that's PULS10 Gaming. So spelled out.
Oh, do you guys have 2 channels this is gonna air on?
So this will be on the CCP channel. So so Even T is running the production. So when you're talking about how the stream is going, what the fight is showing, the commentary and the analysts, that's all Even T. The rules and the prize ships and the refereeing, that's all CCP. Even T is not participating in that, and that is to make it fair and unbiased.
Oh shit! By the way, I think I just linked out there.
I thought Even T did a better job last year than when CCP did it.
Totally fucking did.
That's why they're doing the production. That's why CCP is leveraging the fact that they are doing the production.
They totally fucking did. We totally fucking played this up on this fucking show about the fact that fucking Even T actually fucking outballered them last year. And that, I think, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm just gonna throw it up to the fact that we were the ones.
Take credit, Dirk. Go ahead, take credit.
We pimped it last year hard because they did better. We were the judges, and they pimped it better.
It didn't take much pimping because it pimped itself. They're like the self-pimp.
It pimps itself. Sometimes a pimp pimps itself.
All right, so additionally, tomorrow, so there's been some recent announcements by CCP and Beergician similarly pointed this out, but Dirk, you also listed the link saying withdrawn alliances. So alliances who commit to the alliance tournament, but for whatever reason cannot participate, have withdrawn. So for example, Dreamfleet Alliance has actually disbanded. So therefore they cannot participate.
Which is a story in and of itself.
It is, but I have no more.
Get into right now.
But it's crazy how many groups are getting buys in the first round.
Fucking buy?
Look, Tuskers gets a buy in the first round.
No,
PL gets a buy in the first round.
Wait.
Black Legion gets a buy in the first round. That's crazy.
Because Dreamfleet lost their shit the other day.
You guys are rambling about shit.
Did they disband?
Dreamfleet has unfortunately disbanded, so therefore they are not there. So United Confederation of Conifers gets a buy.
The damn Pine Cones got a buy.
The Pine Cones
United what?
Who are the Pine Cones? We all know the names of the other teams that got buys.
I'll tell you flat out. Look,
Black Legion, Pandemic Legion, and Tuskers.
Okay,
so Pandemic
they got
Legion,
fucking buys.
Pine Cones.
We give them a week off.
Because Master Cartel, 2 Millions, 1 Challenge, and Burn, BURN, actually withdrew. Because they withdrew, they get Flex back.
Who's the Pine Cones group? Are they a name under another name?
They are an alliance and syndicate. They killed my widow. I hate them. I want them all to die in a fire. It's not fair that they get a buy in the first round. This is bullshit.
When you said they killed your widow, I was not thinking of the ship. I was really confused.
Are they a legitimate space holding alliance?
Oh yeah, they're legit.
Or are they an alliance tournament alliance?
They killed my widow. They're legitimate.
You were flying a
I can kill your
widow,
fucking widow.
Yes,
right
we were
after
Black
I kill
Ops
you and
and they killed my widow.
Oh yeah, I need ECM my Marauder.
Yes, my widow was awesome, and they killed it, and I hate them for it.
It's a widow.
I just want to sass you. No, Tyrion.
But you know, widows are blobs, right?
Oh, they're not hiding under another name, though, right?
No.
No, that's legitimately their team, the Pinecones. We call them
fine. All right, and yes, Black Legion, Pandemic Legion, and Tuskers also get a fucking first round bye, which means they're still active in the first weekend. They just get that fucking first round bye.
Which means they do not have to show up tomorrow. However, for beneficiary or for the
they
benefit
could be getting
of
drunk
the stream,
right now, right?
Maybe. I mean, for the benefit.
Could they not?
All of the other all of the other fights, all of the other like streaming stuff will remain consistent. For example, if you already had.
So why isn't Doom here? Why did Doom not nut the
Doom's
fuck
on
up
the
and
Alliance
come here?
tournament
Because
team,
Doom's
Dirk.
in frickin' Colorado.
Where they don't allow nuts.
He's on vacation.
No nuts.
No nuts in Colorado.
But the point I want to make is that even though with this addition of these 4 buys, so these teams that don't have to I want to say actively have a fight, there's no variation in the as far as I know, there's no variation in the schedule. The most that will happen is maybe a team that actually fights in one system will fight in another system, which really only affects the streaming because then it's like, hey, instead of showing this fight, we'll show that fight. Everyone's talking about ECM. No, ECM is bad. Stop it.
Pinecones killed my widow. Period.
Save the planet, bro.
It's awful.
ECM sucks, Brisk. How dare you promote ECM?
Hey, it was our fault for dropping on a whole Raven fleet when we thought there was only like 4 of them. It was a bad idea.
Maddo
Damn
says
it,
it's a good time to
Woody.
buy Plex, which I'm pretty sure wasn't there like a 24%
Hold on a second.
off?
Yesterday was a good time to
Can
buy
we
Plex.
zenfully reflect on McWoody?
Dirk, if you're smoking, you have to accept the risk that you may or may not die of lung
but
cancer,
to hope for it,
or
it's
stroke,
like, damn.
or a heart attack. No, you gotta accept that fact, Dirk. That's like
All you
fucking playing with
vapors out
fire.
there, you have no idea what vape may do to you one day. You don't fucking know.
You don't, but that's the risk you take.
No, the science hasn't been there. We're not doing that right now, Drayden. That's an after show thing.
MIT did it.
All that being said, it's like, damn, that's still. Is it still not relatively like unchill and like in the cold like perspective?
I mean, it's very like rude to say.
There's a,
yeah, you gotta accept.
Are
the
we timing
consequences of
out
life,
based on fucking rude?
I mean, if someone's wishing death on you, Dirk, I don't see the way that would not be timed out.
I don't want to fucking time out just because of rude, because
Dirk, if
rude
somebody's
still works.
Dirk, if somebody's wishing you death, like.
But whatever. He's only wishing me based on my own personal preference. Like, doesn't he like allow me to accept me to be me? Well, hold on.
Because you're smoking. That's what it is.
Rude shit. Fuck you, Dirk, just because they want to. Laugh out loud. Just kidding. Exactly. There we go. There we go. That's where I come out in this shit. It's like, yo, man, allow me to make my own fucking vote. If I need to, like, fucking beg off your fucking Medicaid back in fucking years, like, future, whatever. I'm just gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna do it the same way I am going to draw you into fucking E-Vegas this year, which is gonna be the biggest bang out motherfucking E-Vegas ever. While I still smoke right in front of you and blow secondhand smoke in your face, cause you're a bitch.
You call me a bitch?
But anyway, so while we're on the Alliance of the topic of the Alliance tournament, IGC Skin, which is the Intergalactic Gaming Commission, the actual in-game entity that hosts the Alliance tournament, are having skin sales. And because I fucking love skins, you guys should all buy these skins.
I agree. The
they
IGC
are
Raven
beautiful.
skin is badass.
So the IGC Raven skin is actually not on sale because that was given away as a prize for a player-run Alliance tournament. However, you can probably find it. You have it?
Because
okay.
I'm awesome.
I have the Drake one. They have other ones out. For example, I know the Guardian, the Harbinger, the Vexor Navy, the Ishtar. So if you didn't get a chance to get some, if you didn't get a chance to get like the Blaze skin for the Ishtar, definitely go for ICG.
I have the Blaze skin.
I'm
logging in right now to buy
the actual website.
But I love IGC skin. So if you don't buy it for yourself, you can buy it for me. This is the only time I'll accept free gifts. Hint, Dirk and Drayden, you guys should buy me stuff.
I will take every skin you can give me.
Hold on. I disagree with that statement. The only time you'll ever accept free gifts, I don't think there's ever a time you won't accept free gifts. I'm calling you out.
No, I don't accept free gifts sometimes. There's one time where I've given like
how can you refuse free gifts?
Number one, you're a girl. You always accept free gifts.
No, I do not take gifts.
Because you're a girl.
No, Mr. Durka McGurk, I do not take free gifts. On stream, I actually take the Durka McGurka. I take all of the money I make and actually donate it to a charity. So if you donate on my stream or sub on my stream, I actually give that currently to the Cedar Valley Humane Society.
I did that one fucking year for my fucking nipple,
I will actually give it back.
Nobody donated.
Right. Hold on. So I know your channel. All the money you make on your channel, you donate to charity. I know that. I was talking in-game gifts. I was like,
I will send that back. I've actually sent that back.
When you say
gifts, if people give it to you, just take it. It's actually
no. So
did you know it's rude to
Did
you know it's rude to refuse a gift? If someone wants to give you a gift, it's rude to refuse it because they want to give it to you. If you say, "No, I don't want that," it's an insult that they didn't give you something good enough.
If someone's legitimately like, "Hey, Rain, I really want you to buy you this ship skin because I feel like I want you to use it and you will like it," I will maybe accept that. But if people are like, "Hey, Rain, here's some money," I'll give it back.
I will accept any gifts whatsoever.
Wait, say that again.
It's Brisk, BRISC. Anything you want to give me, I'll take it.
Did you put that C in there so you don't get like sued by Brisk and Ice-T or whatever?
I do take the gifts and I hand them out as prizes. Many people give me skins and I just do skin giveaways. I have 300
I just saw a fucking like thing.
Okay, that's actually a statement because Rain giving skins away instead of taking them herself is actually, I guarantee her mental psyche is like fighting Because she loves skins so
shit.
much that when someone gives her a skin,
I love giving them away too.
It might be
Like,
something
I
else.
will, I
Well,
will
I know,
literally
but
like give skins away.
if someone gifts you a skin that you
Yeah, you
really
are. I feel like
wanted,
I'm
I
getting
guarantee
fired,
you're like,
motherfucker. Like he
I'll
tagged
gift
Grady.
it
He's like,
away.
Grady, do you want to take over the Open Com show?
wait, who does?
Like, did you not just see that fucking pop up? Hold on. I know you don't have Windows 10, so you don't have fucking pop-ups.
No, I got Windows
not
not.
XP.
You got XP
because you're just trying to like hold.
No,
our
I
shit
got
together and
8.1.
whatnot.
Come
But,
on,
like,
I'm in the
Life
new
Sister's
age.
Like, hey, Drayden, I need to talk to you tomorrow. Can't you come to the conference room?
I got
and, like,
I got
talking
8.1.
about
I
Life
just bought an
Shifter?
orange Tengu skin.
No, it's like
I
look,
bought that for someone. It's
life.
so cute.
Life.
I just
If you-
bought it
If you want to
'cause
fucking
it's
like
orange
you know
like my
boost
cat.
me off, it's like it's good, bro. It's good because the next 2 weeks. Oh yeah. By the way, I should announce this now. I'm not gonna be here the next 2 weeks.
Thanks,
I'm
Bob.
gonna literally be down the fucking Jersey Shore, motherfuckers. I am gonna be Pauly D-ing my fucking ass down to the fucking shore, just banging out. All right, not quite banging out. I say that like with a different term than like you guys all are under fucking sand. But like, but seriously, as I'm reading both these channels at the same time and still like actually fucking. Yes, totally gonna be fucking banging out. Compared to these motherfuckers in this other fucking channel over here, gonna be way banging out way more than them. Whatever. I'm going to the fucking Jersey Shore this next, like, the next 2 fucking Fridays. So, like, you can, like, love it up with these motherfuckers while I'm gone. Please, please. When I get back, I literally want every fucking tag out there to be, Dirk, we're so sad you're back. Please go the fuck away.
We can do that. That'll happen.
Between the time,
right.
hey, hold on. I am actually fucking begging for it because between the time that I get back from the fucking shore, okay, until Vegas, which will be a total fucking party zone where I will still fucking party out max time, okay, I literally want you all to like recognize these people for being who they are while I'm fucking away.
Yeah. Also, Dirk.
Just fucking make them do good shows. And not be like imbeciles, because imbeciles doesn't sell. It actually does sell.
No. We'll try, but hold on, Dirk. Do we time out Manic because he called you an old man?
Well,
none of us.
We
have
can't tolerate.
Wait, hold on a second.
Somebody
We
said
can't
I
tolerate
have
stuff like that in
nuts,
chat.
didn't
So
time them out.
no.
Dirk, how old are you?
I'm thinking about a 10,000 hour timeout on Manic.
I still got a fucking 4 in front of my name.
He said
That's
he
all I'm saying.
he blocked me on Twitter, so can you ban him?
That being said,
I just snuck in here, man. Is it alright if I...
Oh,
No matter all. This is
all that,
matter.
all that being
Cool
fucking said,
people
I'm gonna tell you right
only.
now, if you're in fucking South Jersey from like, you know, the 3rd through like, I don't know, like the 11th or whatever the fuck it is, it's like, you know, I don't give a shit. Fucking look me up. I'll go to some fucking backwater South Jersey shit and like have a drink with you.
Dirk, there's been an increase in kidnappings in Iowa, so you should be careful because it might spread to Jersey.
It's fucking Iowa. It is literally fucking canola and kidnappings.
Well, you got to watch out for the corn mafia.
What is canola? Like, what are you talking about?
It's the corn mafia, Dirk.
Corn oil.
Yeah, corn oil. Like
What did I just make that fucking shit up for you, millennial?
You did make that shit
It's
up.
the
'cause
corn
canola
mafia,
is
and they got the
something different
they
than
got the
corn.
Colonel Coalition.
All that being said, right now, Life Shifter is sitting there going, "Shut this bitch down." Because we've got way higher quality material coming after this. So I'm gonna sit there and like lay this out there, being like, you know what? I love all you motherfuckers. I will see you in not next week, not the week after, the week after that. Later, bitches.
Later, bitches.
Later, bitches.
Later, bitches.
Good night, everybody.